flawless so far.
I mean, just to reiterate how good he is, if he were to have a decent performance at this tournament, he can take that first place. He can overtake Nicholas. He can overtake Joksan. And that shows, like, if he wins the PS4 final, he does overtake them. He suddenly becomes the #1 player on the PS4 side of things. He's capable of it. I mean, we saw what he achieved in FIFA 18. Of course, second place, losing to MS Tassari. Heartbreak for him. But now he gets to go again in FIFA 19.
Well, you can see the players look like they're getting ready for the second leg here. Nicholas Razek versus #Ashori. If you're just joining us, of course, we're going to jump over to that game after Tex. Pretty much dominated center in his first leg. So we want to show a game which, you know, we might see a little bit of a comeback here from Shori. 2-0 to Nicholas Razek is the score in this particular game. And that is, of course, what these guys are playing for. The chance to get their name carved onto that beautiful trophy here in Bucharest. And yeah, it looks like we're ready to go down. It's going to be #Shori taking on Nicholas Razek once more. 2-0 the difference between the two teams. The Englishman's got it all to do.
What an opportunity this is for Nicholas Razek. As I said, his previous tournaments at FUT 1 and FUT 2, the Champion Cups, he just got into the last 16. He wasn't even able to break into the quarterfinals. Now he's leading in the quarterfinal with a chance of getting to the semi-finals. He was 11th in the leaderboards before he got into this tournament. With a win here, he can push himself all the way up to 4th place, potentially. That's incredible. But Shori will surely want to be able to stop that.
Here we go then. Looks like we're going to be getting underway as soon as we can. Just making sure that everything's right. It's one of those things you don't want to make that one tiny little mistake in your settings that cost you a goal, and then you're like, oh, come on, I'm 3 down, or now it's only 1 goal. So there's those tiny little things that you have to double, triple check just to make sure.
FIFA players are incredibly superstitious.
Oh, they really are. It's
well.
crazy, isn't it? Some of the things I've heard.
I mean, from down to wearing the same T-shirt, wearing the same
clothes.
Socks.
Tex is wearing exactly the same clothes as yesterday.
I mean, Tex apparently just needs milk chocolate in the morning, and he's okay. That's where superstitions go. But let's see if any superstitions can help #Shori get back into this tie. 2-0 down against Razek. Razek, who previously knocked out Dax, of course, in the previous round. But someone who hasn't scored many goals this tournament, only 14 thus far from Shori. He needs to dig deep and find something else.
Such a classic rivalry down over the years as well. The two nations, Germany and England, going up against each other once more. Germany has the advantage. Shori has it all to do. It's a strong start from him, though. Cristiano Ronaldo into Neymar. Neymar trying to line up a shot. Goes for this! Oh. Big save from Van der Sar. And that's one position we were talking about a lot with Nicholas Razek. It was almost a surprise when we saw Van der Sar, that name, appearing over the top of his goalkeeper. But he has done the business for him. Especially
considering, I think, he's playing Ramos and Varane at centre-back. So it's not like he needs an icon goalkeeper there, but it's just down to preference. I do like that piece of play, though, from Shori. Just a nice little dummy, not finessing it first time, trying to encourage keeper movement one way. He almost was able to sell it, but Razek did very well to get right back across goal.
Nicholas Razek then will enjoy a little bit more possession of the ball than he had against PSG's Dax. That's a great ball round the corner. Lionel Messi back onto the left foot. Can't get the strike past the centre-back there. I believe it was Maldini who got the block on that one. Now Shori's going to come forward again. A little bit more possession of the ball than he had against PSG. Great ball over the top here, and Mbappe has the chance to strike away. Comes back inside now. Get the strike past the centre-back there. I believe it was join the play. Ronaldo, who got the block on that one. Into Huller. Shori's going to come forward again. A little bit more possession of the ball than he had against PSG. Great squeezes the ball back to Mbappe. Has the chance to strike away. The shot. Comes back inside. Get a strike just enough time to join the play. Ronaldo, who got the block on that one. Into Huller. Shori's going to come forward again.
To CR7.
From Shori. Great squeezes the ball back to Mbappe. Has the chance to strike away. The shot.
Someone who is quick enough is
back inside. Get a strike just enough time to join the play. Ronaldo, who got the block on that one. Into Huller. Shori's going to come forward again.
To CR the way that Razek likes it.
Great squeezes the ball back to Mbappe. Has the chance to strike away. The shot.
Someone who is quick enough is
back inside. Get a strike just enough time to join
4-2-2. Started off with the 4-2-3-1. It wasn't working out. Switched to the 4-2-2, and he found goals. And it looks like it's done the same job for him in this time. But maybe he should consider, well, do I go defensive here? Do I try and hold on to this lead? That's not the Razek that I know. He wants more goals. Messi in the box. It's the post.
Post is still rattling, I think, from that strike from Lionel Messi. 15 minutes to half-time here. Shuri still with the 2-goal disadvantage. He has to 15 minutes to half. Try and close that gap. Still with the 2-goal disadvantage. He has to. Ramos now inside to Hullet. Plenty of time left though for Shuri. That's the one thing he does have on his side. And he has got into advanced positions. Just that final pass. Let him down a little bit there. And another example of good defending from Nicolas Razek, but also just a little bit of a delay on that pass from Shuri. Razek now comes away with the ball one pass more. From Shuri, just like that, possession turned over. As it now comes away with the ball one pass more. And Shuri with a chance to attack towards the end of this first half.
Yeah, Shuri's doing well, working back with his forwards, and Mbappe, of course, absolutely rapid and can get back very quickly. Yeah, Shuri's doing well. But he has been dwindling on the ball a little bit. Is he going to get a shot away? Neymar plays it short to Cristiano Ronaldo, and it's out wide to Mbappe now. Is he going to get a shot away? He's just trying to find that final pass, but the defense from Razek has been solid. He's just
sublime so far. Hasn't made a mistake whatsoever.
Has been
we see a pause coming in here. So far. Hasn't made a 0-0 in this game. Chris Razek, of course, going to be absolutely, completely and utterly fine with that. We see a pause coming in here. 2-goal advantage as we went into our second leg. 0-0 in this game. Chris Razek, of course, going to be absolutely 4-2-2, like we mentioned. Fine with that. Shuri then just needs to be a little bit more decisive in and around that 18-yard box. It's very easy for us to say, just observing the game and not being caught up in the emotion of the game and the adrenaline that's flowing through you. 18-yard box.
And it's one of those things where you look at both of these players, you look at how Shuri's playing, and he does have a little bit of confidence going forward, but maybe too much confidence on the ball. Just dwelling on it ever so slightly, that final pass. And he does connect with that final pass. If he does get a goal back, suddenly the mentality of Razek's going to completely change.
Yeah, it's very, very true. It looks like we just having a bit of a break in the play here. It might be a little technical issue, but we'll try and get that sorted as quickly as we can. But hashtag Shuri, I mean, for his first tournament this year, and what a performance it has been. Not just get out of the Swiss, but to get to the knockout rounds as well.
I think he's done really well. He should be proud of himself. When I talk about global ranking points and I talk about how far these players need to go in these tournaments when it is their first tournament or perhaps their last tournament, depending on what they've qualified for. He was on 109 points before coming into this, and he was ranked 69th. Now he has that chance to get more points. He's already got 450. If he wins this, of course, he gets 625. He has that chance to just move forward, get even more, get further in that leaderboard, and I think that takes him into like the top 20, maybe even top 15, just by by securing those little extra points.
That just shows what a huge performance it's been. The same for, unfortunately, he knocked out his fellow countryman fully as well, but a great performance from him as well, making it through to the knockout rounds. He was saying himself yesterday when we heard him being interviewed by Kyle, you know, he gets inside his own head, and once it's gone, it's gone. Like he's losing. So
I think the quote was, once I lose again and again, and I don't win. Well, he did find the win. He did get through.
It's a single elimination against him, isn't it? Once he loses, he's gone. He doesn't have to.
He doesn't have to worry about it. But he did go out on penalties, which of course is unfortunate for him. But again, he still secured a decent amount of Global Series ranking points for his first tournament as well. So now he can look at that, and maybe that'll be enough to get into playoffs. Because realistically, when you look at the amount of points that they're able to secure through Weekend League as well, you can get to playoffs with just Weekend League and maybe one good event.
Yeah, that's very, very true. And a lot of players will be looking for one of those good events. We're trying to get back into the game as soon as we possibly can. Of course, we have that little technical reset, so we'll get in there as soon as we can. But I want to talk about the PlayStation side of things again, just before we get back into things. We touched on Stefano Pina and what a fantastic performance he's had so far at every single event we seem to have him at. But who's going to be the player to stop him on the PS4 side of things? We talked about no Aubameyang. Have him at.
Fafilza has been hailed as apparently the best player by Nicholas. Nicholas said he thinks Fafilza is better than him, even though he beat him in the previous tournament. But maybe he'll be the man who can actually take down Stefano Pina. As we are going to get back into this one as we continue. Razek still with that 2-goal lead. However, Shuri has had a decent amount of possession. He's just not been able to find that final ball to give him really a good shot on goal. He's just not been able to find that final ball to give him
5 minutes or so till the half-time whistle goes.
He's just not been able to find that final ball.
So a more expected break, should we say, after the enforced one for the technical stoppage. So a more expected break. Razek with the ball here. Enforced one for the technical stoppage. Switches the play. Just an update for you as well. Tex is now 8-0 up against Senna. I think we could say that one's pretty much done and dusted.
I mean, before this tournament, he was averaging 2.5 goals per leg. That's going to be slightly increasing.
It's only going one way, isn't it? Yeah.
He was averaging, as he continues his dominance in it, he has been was really impressive in that first leg. As he continues Razek, he's going to have the last attack in this first half. Lala out on the right.
Just to get the ball around the corner here to Mbappe as well. Might be time for one more attack in this game. In this half, I should say. Neymar, slightly heavy touch. Marcelo manages to get in. And that is going to be the half-time whistle going now, so nothing changing. No shots at all to speak with, but obviously that is going to be the half-time whistle going now, so nothing changing. No shots at all. But not too much of a change in the situation as far as the scoreline is concerned from the first leg. Still Shuri, the same objective in mind. Still needs to score 2 goals in order to tie things up here and potentially send this one to extra time.
Shuri just needs that one chance, that one glimmer of hope to have an opportunity on goal, and if he takes it, he is right back into this tie. But at the moment, with 2 goals down, and the fact that Razek is looking dangerous going forward, I think Shuri in the back of his head will be thinking, well, maybe this is as far as I go. And that's when you need to look at potential coaches to come in after a first leg, for example, and say, look, put your head up, I've got a chance. These are the positives we need to focus on. I believe it's #Harry who's out here coaching Shuri as well. Maybe this is it. Maybe this is his one chance he needs.
Almost found that ball around the corner. CR7 gets it back. It is the chance, and it is the goal. Shuri's back into this one. 5 minutes after the break. R9 finds the goal. Now the pressure falls back onto Nicholas Razek. 1 goal between them, but boy, does that change things.
He just needed Lady Luck to shine on him just a teeny weeny bit to give him that one chance. And boy, did he take it. You have to finish those from there when you are presented with an opportunity. For Razek, he needs to just keep doing what he was doing, focus up, don't get too frustrated about the fact that he did make that first tackle and it's bundled back to Shuri. But now we really have a tie on our hands. He did make that first tackle and it's bundled back to Shuri.
Slightly snatched to that shot there, Nicholas Razek, after the restart. Slightly snatched. I think you summed it up beautifully. We really do have a match on our hands. First real chance of the game. I think you say a little bit of luck there for #Shuri. But he took the chance, but that's a loose pass. Nicholas Razek now going to bring this one away. So we saw him in an absolute battle against Dax earlier today. Razek now going to bring this one away. Marcelo then with some space on his left-hand side. Against Dax earlier today. Finds CR7, little fake shot. Marcelo then with some space. Well defended though by Shuri. Talked about his defence and how impressive it's been so far this tournament. You can see why. With how he just read that play, it wasn't so much the timing of the tackle, it was what he assumed Nicholas Razek was going to try. It wasn't so much the timing of the tackle. His opportunity to come forward once more.
It was nice what he did. He switched off the player, allowed the AI just to close down a little bit. Allowed Razek to do a couple of skill moves, and the AI got even closer, and he switched last minute to make that challenge. Last-ditch challenges. Speaking of, Hullet just gets stuck in there.
Giving it away though.
Does need to be careful though, Razek, at the back. Speaking of, Hullet just gets stuck in there.
You can see the pressure definitely been increased here.
Be careful though, Razek, at the back.
By #United Shuri. Lala sends this one down the line. Marcelo, that is one heck of a challenge. By #United Shuri. From the Brazilian. Lala sends this one down the line. Shuri controlling the pace of the game here, but we're inside the last 30 minutes of regulation time. He still needs a goal just to tie things up. Nicholas Razek will be absolutely fine with the ball being in these areas of the pitch. Just to tie things up.
He's called for a pause. You can tell he's uncomfortable with how the game's going. Maybe he's noticing the pressure that's coming from #Shuri.
You can
tell he's uncomfortable with how the game's going. But he's still got that solid back line. They're stopping every single final ball that's coming through #Shuri's attackers. They're stopping every single. You feel like another goal for Razek really would be the nail in the coffin here.
Deep breath in from Shuri. You saw it. The bottom right hand of your screen there. You can see the emotions starting to churn away at him a little bit. No reaction whatsoever though from Nicholas Razek. Cold as ice. Keeping a very, very level head. He knows that he just has to not make a mistake in this particular situation. Keeping a very, very level head. He knows that he just has to not make changes coming in from Nicholas Razek as well. It's going to be a change of personnel here. Sticking with that 4-2-2, making sure that some defensive-minded instructions on the players, however. Sticking with that 4-2-2. One thing I do find very interesting now is how you see CR7 being used in one of those wide cam positions, whereas we're used to seeing him up top. That's because of those back post crosses. That's because you can use his height and jumping statistics to win those headers, and we've seen how devastating they can be already. Because you can use his height
and I wonder if that is going to start to encourage people maybe to switch out from Marcelo at left back, perhaps. If you're going to stick with Kyle Walker at right back, maybe Ramos suddenly goes to left back instead, and you do have height and presence. It's one of these things that netters can shift player positions, and thankfully because of the Team of the Year FUT items and how incredible they are, there is versatility that's available. They can be moved around. There was talks of even Ramos and Varane playing at CDM potentially. But the icons of Hullet and Vieira seem to have held strong. I've seen a bit of Kante also cropping up here or there.
What a ball that was from Ruud Hullet. He's found Messi. Messi puts it into the box. We almost saw that spring from Kylian Mbappe once more. Shuri survives. Razek looking dangerous though to break. From Kylian Mbappe once more. Shuri survives. 15 minutes or so to go here for the Englishman. 15 minutes. Nicholas Razek defending for his life. Shuri still needs to find one goal. Nicholas Razek. What a tackle that is from Sergio Ramos. Ronaldo could not hold up the play, but there's a mistake. Varane gets away with one. Lady Luck was shining on Shuri earlier. Just returned the favour there to the German.
Razek does need to be very aware of his passes while he is at the back. As we get an update, the Texas now leading 11-1. You consider the goal, how terrible. As we get but no, really, 11-1, that is just, for a quarter-final result, shows how phenomenal Tex is. And of course, the winner of this game will face Tex in the semi-finals on the Xbox side as well. At the moment, it looks like it's going to be Razek. With Shuri in the semi-finals on the Xbox side, there is just going to be that one more chance towards the end of the game. Razek has looked like he might just place a pass or two at the back.
There's always one more chance. It's just if you can take it, if the luck shines on you.
Pass or two at the back.
There's always one more chance. The era for Shuri then, you can take it. If the luck shines on you. 2, maybe 3 tops more attacks for him in this game. We're into the last 10 minutes. Vieira wins it back, and maybe fortunately for him, he doesn't get the bounce off of the player there, and it'll be a throw-in to Nicholas Razek. Maybe fortunately for him, he doesn't get the bounce.
One thing that Shuri has done well all tournament long is how he works goals. He stretches it wide and then plays it back into the middle. And yes, sometimes they will be finesse finishes, but it's how he gets there. It's how he gets those players into those positions to actually have that guaranteed shot on goal. It's really impressed me this tournament. That, along with his defensive record, of course, because I mean, even in this game, he's only still conceded 2 goals. That, along with his defensive record, of course, because I mean, even in this game, he's only still conceded 2 goals.
Things are getting very, very tense here in this game. You can see from the player cams, even Nicholas Razek, there's a little bit of animation from him in that bottom left-hand corner as well. Complete and utter focus and concentration as well, but he knows how much this 5 minutes means. Complete and utter focus. If he concedes here and goes to extra time, he knows how much this 5 minutes means. Shuri is going to be absolutely full of momentum and confidence. He's going to want to Shuri is going to be absolutely take the game as far as he possibly can. But good experience play here from the German towards the end of the game. He's not even giving Shuri a sniff, but there, he's giving him the ball back. Mbappe on the edge of the box, the ball's fallen here to Neymar. Neymar on the finesse. Ramos hurriedly clears that one away.
And this is the danger of playing that ball around the box. In the latter stages of the game, we see it when it gets to added on time, but when there is 5 minutes left, it's always a risk. But surely now with only 2 left, and with this much space on the right, you just hold it in the corner. And Razek is probably going to be facing Tex, unless there's a miracle for Shuri, unless the goalkeeper misses it, which he doesn't. Shuri unfortunately eliminated from the competition, and Razek fights on through.
Fantastic performance from Nicholas Razek there to close that one out, drawing on all of his experience towards the end of that game. Great performance from Shuri, though. You have to say it to him. He'll be disappointed, obviously, but I think if he looks back on this one, on his performance so far in Bucharest, he can be very, very proud. I'm sure all the Hashtag United guys will be proud of him as well. But I believe we're going to move over to another game now. We're going to see where we can go, potentially, and see if we've got anything else going on. Actually, we're not. Excuse me, my mistake. But, I mean, what do you think of Nicholas Razek's performance there, especially towards the end of the game? Because we've seen a few players look a little bit nervy, but he really controlled the pace of the game towards the end of things there, and he looks just calm and composed.
I was impressed that he obviously made that change to 4-2-2 at some point. Whether he got the goals after that 4-2-2, I don't know. But it was the fact that he still pressed on with the 4-2-2. He didn't just go defensive and change it to a 4-2-3-1 instantly. He kept applying the pressure, and Razek gets through. Now his reward is to face Tex, who was winning 11-1 last week.
He was winning 11-1. 2 intense games there, 2 very different games for the guys on the couch to break down. So Jimmy, take it away. 11-1. 2 intense games there, 2 very different games.
Thank you, Onset and Gaskin. So, which one do you want to start with first, guys? The close one between Razek and Shuri, or do you want to talk about F2 Tex and his domination at center?
How much is there to say about that game? I mean, there's 11 goals at this level, at this point in the tournament is really, really impressive. It sends out a message that Tex, just last game, was saying wasn't playing well. He was almost annoyed about his performance despite having not lost the game. That's got to be the Tex that he wanted to see, scoring 11 goals against a player of that quality. Unbelievable.
You feel like he's kicked it up another level?
Definitely.
From the Swiss format?
People at home probably are sick and tired of hearing about Tex, but there's a reason we talk about Tex. Even I, as a player or as a viewer, sometimes I get enough Tex. There's a reason. When he wins 11-1 at this stage, there's a reason we talk about it. Sometimes
yeah, we're going to take a look at his highlights here.
When he wins 11-1,
it's already 2-0 at this point. Little back post cheddar to make it 3. Yeah, we're only 17 minutes into the first leg.
Senna just rolling his eyes at that one. There was plenty more to come. You know, this went to 4-0 at this point, and he's getting that space in those areas, and that's a very cheeky finish. And we're seeing Senna's reaction to this because he's almost disgusted with what he's seeing. Tex is unstoppable, unplayable at times, and he just keeps coming. Look at that finish from Neymar on his weak foot, 5-star weak foot. That's what it'll get you. And Senna here just switching the ball, just trying to keep it respectable at this point, which unfortunately for him it ended up not being. You know, no one deserves to concede 11 goals at this level because they're such good players. And it doesn't, if you're watching at home, it makes you not give Senna the credit he deserves. Such a good player to get this far. He's a world-class player. Just makes you realise how unplayable Tex is.
Well, remind everybody how many points and how much money he goes home.
Yes, he goes home with 450 points, which is still very good. And depending on however many other points he gets throughout the rest of the series, it's very, very close to securing himself a spot in the playoffs. So we'll probably see Senna again.
Okay, now is that something Senna can learn from, or do you think it's just an anomaly? I don't never lose 11-1 or whatever it may be. Okay, now is that something? Does he just kind of throw it away and not try to remember it at all?
I mean, having been there at an event, conceding 11 goals to Tex, I know I mean, on one side, you know, I'm conceding 11 goals, something's wrong. But on the other side, I know you look at it, it's tech. On one side, he scores goals. He doesn't concede a lot, but he scores goals. On the other side, obviously you have something to improve on if you've conceded 11 goals, and that's what I learned from Barcelona last year. And just next event, you know you have to do better. You know, you see what Tech does in order to score 11 goals and not stop and not let down his guard in order to keep his form. So that's something you learn. 11 goals.
Okay, so let's hit pause on the text button. Right now. Let's hit pause on the text button. I don't know if that makes sense, but I did my best there. And talk about the other guy that's undefeated on the PS4 side, Hasu. He's taking on Fiddle. It's going to be our featured match when we come back from our break here in a little bit. But Hasu has been quietly doing the business. He's from Turkey. Many people might not know about him. And he's been excellent throughout this whole tournament.
He really has. I think he's representing Turkey and Germany. Yeah, I mean, it could be a good signing for Mesut Ozil's team. I don't know. But he's doing really, really well. He is someone we have to take seriously now if we weren't already. The only person, along with Tech, just to unpause that button quickly, who's also unbeaten. So will we see these two match up against each other? It could be a cross-console final, but Hasu's got a little bit of work to do until they're going up against the Cincinnati player, Fiddle, which won't be an easy win for him. He's a favourite based on the form, but I'm looking forward to this game.
And then how about you? Do you know anything about these two players?
Yeah, definitely. Like
Hasu in particular.
Well, Hasu, it's his first event, and he's gone unbeaten so far. He's the clear favorite. Fiddle, on the other hand, has switched in NA from Xbox to PlayStation. Last event he played was on Xbox, and this event he's on PlayStation. He's already made the knockout, so it's the first event on PlayStation for both this year, and they've both made it so far. So definitely
inspiration for people at home are seeing two people who've switched consoles, one from PlayStation to Xbox in Salsaw, and the other one being Fiddle the other way. Both have really good success, so it can be done.
It definitely can be done. What else can be done is our breakdown board with Rachel and Mike who have some more information on Hasu. It definitely can be done. What else can be done is our breakdown board with Rachel and Mike.
That conversation that you were having on the couch over here on the breakdown board, and behind us you can actually see Hasu's formation that he's been using throughout this tournament, and like you said, he is the only player undefeated on the PlayStation side. It's pretty exciting. He came over here for a chat just a few moments ago and was pretty relaxed as well. We don't know a great deal about him, do we, Mike, at this stage?
I don't think a lot of people know a ton about Hasu. This is him showing up and definitely showing out in a big way. And I said this at the beginning of the tournament, but I feel like the PlayStation side of the bracket is very open. We have 7 players, and I think Yvonne mentioned this, that this is their first event of the year out of the remaining 16 when everything got started today. So.
And it's great that he's so excited. Well, he is tweeting that he's so excited to be this far in the tournament, and now we just like to grab him and let everyone know his secrets. And this excited to be this far in the tournament, and now we just like to grab him and let everyone know. Just run us through this one. He's using a few teamers, and now we just like to grab him and let everyone know. Just run us through this one. He's using a few teamers, and now we just like to grab him and let everyone.
This is in-game. This is not where he starts, but this is what exactly happens right when he gets into a match. What's interesting with the right back move, as well as with having Conte there, when you're seeing Ramos and Conte, is Ramos is in the lineup to win headers or to stop headers or stop conceding headers. We're seeing a lot of back post crosses. We've done a couple breakdowns, and it's really growing into the meta, especially with how well people are moving the goalkeepers versus the finesse shots. You need to whip in crosses. And in my opinion, and I was talking to Hasu a little bit, having someone like Conte there is important over Vieira because Ramos isn't going to be as good on the ball going forward, so he's got to still be able to push that attack. And when you have a Vieira, he's a little clunkier. He's definitely bigger. He's going to be able to intercept those passes, but Conte's much faster, much better offensively. Not going to be a liability going forward. And then with the 3 substitutions, no surprises. They're going in for your 3 center attacking mid to get fresh legs. Messi on the right side, left foot of dreams, finesse shots. You know how that drill goes.
Anything else in there that really stood out for you and you thought, okay, I can see what he's doing with that?
Pretty standard. I mean, there's a little bit of player preference. Some people will start Eusebio. Some people will start Neymar. Some people will start Mbappe. But that's all preference-based.
And he's going up against your man, Fiddle from the USA. You know his game. Is he going to be able to match this chap?
Nobody's been able to match him just yet, but at the same time, I don't think people should doubt Fiddle at all. He's got a few really big results this far, and he's growing into the tournament. They said it was his first time on the PlayStation. He did qualify for an event on the Xbox this year, so he's actually switched over to the PlayStation 4 EMLS, and he's been doing really well. He eliminated Chris earlier.
Well, PlayStation guys, maybe take note of this formation. It's working at the moment.
Thank you, Rachel and Mike. Now, guys, I think I've decided about Michael's jacket.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it looks like he's on a bowling team.
Yeah,
you know, I just feel like he just have the bowling bag next to him. He's gonna go, you know, get a couple strikes and
get a turkey.
Yeah, I could see him get a turkey and get after it. Maybe we should do some bowling afterwards just to see if he's any good.
We could do
especially
some
with that
curling on the roads in Romania right now. That's so icy, that's for sure.
All right, so we got to look at Hasu's lineup and the players that he likes to use. Any big surprises there, Nightwatch?
No, it's just a standard. As Mike said, it's preference-based. Everything, whether the attackers, whether the midfielders in Kante and Vieira, whether the defenders, if you want a center back or right back, for the new meta, the crosses, it's all preference-based.
Okay. Well, I got some good news for you guys. It's another Twitch drop. It's happening right now. Make sure you guys link your EA and Twitch accounts for it to happen. We're going to be raining some premium gold player packs on you guys. Hopefully, you guys, you guys are linked. You're ready to go.
I'm linked, baby.
How happy would you be with some premium gold player packs?
I'd love some premium gold players pack. Yeah, brilliant. Bring on.
I'm always linked.
You're always linked and ready to go.
Even when I play at the competitions, I link my account and hope to get lucky.
All right, all right. So one set of quarterfinals are done, but we have another set coming up on the PS4 side of the bracket right after this break.
I link my account and hope to get lucky.
I think my guilty pleasure maybe it would be to go to reggaeton concerts. That's probably my guilty pleasure.
My guilty pleasure is spending time with my friends. Guilty pleasure.
My guilty pleasure is definitely watching series when I think about it. I spend already a lot of time in front of a screen, so maybe I should do something else sometimes than watching a series. But yeah, very addicted to it.
Not a clue. Not a clue in it. Guilty pleasure.
Not really. I don't really have any guilty pleasure now. I just sort of get on with it. There's no guilty pleasure.
My guilty pleasure, Pepsi Max. There we go. People that watch my streams, you'll know Pepsi Max. Can't beat it.
Guilty pleasure. I don't have a guilty pleasure either. My guilty pleasure is food, honestly. Like junk food, like chips, pizza, burgers.
I love to eat really well, and burgers is, yeah, everyone knows it. It's like a junk food, and yeah, sometimes I eat 1 or 2 burgers too much in a month or in the year, so I should eat a little bit more salad at this time.
I think it's FIFA 16 or something. I love the game. I love FIFA 16, so I go with that game as my guilty pleasure.
My guilty pleasure is to watch Netflix.
What's my guilty pleasure? I think it's eating burgers. I'm eating them a lot. I was just in America a few weeks ago, and they have the best burgers in the world there. And I just love it every time when I can eat a burger. It's hard for me to say no.
Just don't know. Absolutely no clue.
It's hard for me.
The FIFA 19 Global Series is brought to you in part by Turtle Beach. And if you want one of those Elite Pro 2 headsets, make sure you tag Turtle Beach on Twitter @TurtleBeach and use the hashtag #BuiltForChamps. Spencer Owen can attest to these. High quality, great headsets.
They combine 3 of my favorite things: turtles, beaches, and prime audio hardware.
All right, I like that. Well, welcome back, everyone, to Bucharest. I'm Jimmy Conrad, along with Spencer Owen, and somebody new on the couch.
Hello.
Wow. Out of the caster booth and here, getting
Finally
comfortable.
made it.
You've made it.
Congratulations. You've left that other guy behind. He's been dragging you down for years.
You've matured. We've taken you out of there.
It was an upsetting moment to leave, Richard, but I got the move I wanted. I've been upgraded.
Here it is. Brandon Smith, thank you so much for joining us. So we got Hasu and Fiddle. They're coming up. It's our featured match. How excited are you to watch this one unfold?
Definitely. I think the story of this weekend was that this PlayStation side's open now because there's no Nicholas, there's no Joxan, there's no Mo Aubameyang, so it's a fantastic opportunity for players on that PlayStation side to get some really important Global Series ranking points. And Hasu, 5-0 yesterday in Swiss style. Sometimes when you go through Swiss style, they kind of fall off into day 2. He hasn't done that. He's so good.
He is so good. And in fact, let's take a look at these intros of these 2 players.
Sometimes when you go through Swiss style.
I love when they show their real names. My favorite one has to be Gordon Thornsberry.
Wild Thornsberry.
Yeah, he went with Fiddle too, which is a funny gamer tag to have, but one that's doing well for him, especially as he made the switch from Xbox over to PlayStation.
Yeah,
he's done very, very well there.
Yeah, it's hard to do. He's done really well. He's been around like for a couple of years now, playing for a number of different orgs. I have not seen him personally, maybe outside of US-based events, go much further than this. So it'd be a big achievement for him. He's up against someone who probably fancies himself up against going into the tournament, but obviously seeing Hasu's form, he might be a little bit reticent now, and it's going to be a struggle, I think, for him.
Yeah, just to give you guys a rundown, Hasu's beaten Pico, Ali G, who did very, very well in his first game, and then Hasu brought him back down to earth and beat him 9-1. He beat Giovi, Stranger, FUT was Marco, and then he took down Diogo in the last round. And none of them have been really close. He's won by 3 goals, 8 goals, 3 goals, 3 goals, 1 goal, FUT was Marco, and then a 2-goal win in his last one. So there's a good look here at Fiddle. He beat NYC Chris in an all-MLS matchup in the round of 16. But who do you think, before we get into predictions, is there an edge here? Do you think everything kind of thrown out the window? Because it seems like Hasu is overachieving in some ways.
He's coming out of that German country, isn't he? There were 16 players that made this event, and often, so far, there's been the most German players at every single one of the events as part of the Global Series, but none of them seem to go the full way or go and win a tournament. But then you've got a player that comes out of the Americas region, plays in the MLS, FC Cincinnati's, played with PSG, a lot of LAN experience. I think it's anyone's to take, to be honest, but I don't know which way to sway. Do I sway towards Fiddle, or do I back the German scene that's doing so well?
There's a German in every single round we're going to see.
That's not surprising. There were 16 Germans here to start the tournament.
Yeah, I mean, we've already seen going into the semi-finals, we know that Rasik's going to be in next beat #Shori, so there's a German in the semi already. So there's basically Germans everywhere. And I think Hasu's the favourite going into this.
But is he overachieving, or do you think maybe Fiddle's playing with house money because he's gotten farther than he ever has over here?
He's overachieving in the sense that we don't know much about it. That doesn't mean he's not good. When you say Tech's overachieved in Barcelona when he came in and won it, and he's never looked back.
Right.
So he could be someone to watch long term, Hasu.
Okay. Predictions, Brandon. We'll go with you first. You're our guest of honor, looking sharp in your blazer.
It's going to be a tough one. As I said, I'm kind of swaying both ways, but I feel like Hasu, he's having a fantastic tournament. He still hasn't lost a 2-legged game of FIFA. We've got to remember, he beat Diogo Poxeto earlier today, so I'm going to say Hasu.
And what's your record today in your predictions?
I'm right in everyone. I'm 4-0.
Speaking of perfect records, you're looking at 2 of them right here.
I'm 4-1. I'm not too far off.
Me, Brandon, and Richard have not got one wrong.
So you're going Hasu?
I'll go Hasu, yeah. I think he's going to win this one.
All right.
Well, I don't want to lose. I don't want to lose. Go behind him, so I'm going to say Hasu.
So now it's more strategic.
There we go.
No, I would have said Hasu anyway, but yeah, I'm going to say Hasu. No disrespect to Fiddle, but I think on form, Hasu's looking sharper.
I think this is where I have to put my flag in the ground and defend MLS.
Wow.
I think I'm going to have to go with Fiddle here. I was disappointed that he faced up with Chris in the round of 16. I wanted 2 MLS guys to make it to the quarterfinals. Instead, we only have 1. I'm going to throw my support behind him. North America, USA, MLS, got to do it.
Good luck to you.
Thank you very much. All right, now let's throw it over to our casters who have the call of these quarterfinal games in the FUT Champions Cup presented by PlayStation 4. Guys, what are your thoughts? What are your predictions?
Do you want to go first again?
I mean, I'm also born in USA, so I'm going to go for my US heritage, and I think that Fiddle's going to take this one. I'm going to back the boys. USA.
Go on, Gaston. Go on.
Screw you guys. I'm going Hasso. I want to upset all of you. Don't worry about it. You invited me on the couch, Jimmy. I'm very thankful for it, but you know I've got to show my true
I don't know
colours
if you're allowed on the couch anymore.
Exactly. I don't want to come back. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
All right, guys. Enjoy the game.
Thank you very much, Jimmy. And yeah, this is a really interesting game here, Dan, because we've talked about a couple of players who, yeah, in every other quarterfinal who have kind of a little bit of a story behind them, etc. But Hasso's come out of the gates at this tournament and just dominated, to be honest with you. Perfect Swiss record. And then the other side of things, someone who's kind of been in the shadow of a lot of the other North American players, the likes of Goal Machine, obviously, from Canada, NYC Chris, who's qualified for a lot of these events. Fiddle's made his way out here, and he's got further than all of them at the moment. So different stories here and kind of the underdog story for both these players.
We're looking at one player in Hasu who has dominated his games. He's won by quite significant goal margins. On the other side for Fiddle, he's been scraping games. He's only won by 1 goal every single game that he's played so far this tournament. So in terms of goal-scoring record and just form in general, we should go with Hasu. Of course, I am going to pay homage to my American heritage and stick with Fiddle. But at the same time, I mean, Fiddle always has that chance, right? Maybe he's just been saving up fuel in the tank. We saw Tex just explode in the last round. Maybe Fiddle can do something similar.
And the last time that I watched Fiddle play live, I actually got the opportunity to cast over him, was last year in a North American event. over in Orlando, and he took on Goal Machine in the final of that tournament, and he won the tournament. So this is when, back on FIFA 18, when everyone was talking about all of the noise that Goal Machine was making, some of the big performances he put in, you know, that famous result that he got against Gorilla to really announce himself on the FIFA competitive scene. But this guy here, he beat him in that tournament, and that was after in a tournament afterwards, and that was after he came back from beating Gorilla. So a lot of pedigree still in this player, a lot to look out for, and I'm looking forward to a really tight game here.
Yep, I think that we just need to focus on like defensive records in particular for Hasu. I mean, he's only conceded 17 goals so far this tournament. That's a pretty impressive defensive record. Not quite up there with what Shuri's was, but Shuri is now eliminated from the competition. Can his defensive record stay the same going into this one, though?
Well, we'll have to wait and see. As we can see, we're about to get underway here in another quarterfinal. We're really starting to narrow down the pack here of players left in the competition here in Bucharest. It has been a fantastic couple of days of FIFA action so far, and we're expecting exactly the same for the rest of the day here. And of course, when we come back tomorrow on Sunday, it will be Hasu is playing in the red. Just a perfect Swiss record. So definitely a player to watch out for on the PlayStation side of things. Considering some of the other players that have a perfect record coming out of the Swiss, I mean, you have to hold him in incredibly high regards, but it's when these pressure games start turning up, Dan. When it gets to these stages where you lose, you're going home. Can you keep it together, and can you keep that form when it really, really matters?
Well, Fiddle, of course, coming off the back of a recent tournament at the EMLS. And he is actually higher in the Global Series rankings than Hasu is. So in theory, he is somewhat the favour if you just look at the leaderboards. But I think Hasu's form in this tournament makes him the favourite instead. But it's Fiddle with the early possession. Unfortunately, can't quite find that ball onto the left, but he regains it once again through Cristiano Ronaldo. A little bit of pinball in the middle, just need to calm things down a little bit, try and secure some of these passes. Passing accuracy is one thing that we see the top players achieve a very high percentage, game in, game out.
All going to be lofted forward then into CR7. Playing in that familiar striker position now, when we're looking. That ball in behind, Ruud Gullit gets back to track that run there from Kylian Mbappe. Bit of a nervy start for both these players. A little bit touchy-feely, just trying to work out how each other are going to approach this game. Kante now spreads the ball out wide to Lionel Messi. Waits for the overlapping run here, and it comes from Sergio Ramos here for Hasu. Tries to just slide that one across the box, and got me a little bit anxious there, just playing the ball around the back. But he now manages to calm things down. Move the ball into midfield.
You do have to have some confidence about you just to play it out of the back so calmly like that, despite being under pressure. But if it does work out, you have more opportunities and more avenues to work your way up the pitch. Sometimes it is dangerous trying to dink that ball into midfield. Of course, you can give away that possession. Fiddle trying to take a pop shot from outside the box there. Not quite working out. Hasu defending well, getting those players behind the ball, and he finds space out on the right-hand side with Messi. But again, Varane getting stuck in.
Really impressive quick passing play there from Hasu. Pele sets the ball back here to Gullit. Messi looking to orchestrate things, pull some strings. Ramos now, very advanced, up the pitch into Messi. Just showed the ball to Ruud Gullit there momentarily before whipping the ball away. And now Pele on the finesse. Oh, big save from David De Gea. Gets a hand to it, tips it onto the post.
Just moved the keeper in time. Just a couple of centimetres, it would seem, to be able to pull off that save. And that's going to be danger zone on the side of Fiddle. He's certainly been saying, look, I can't allow that to happen. I need to be very careful. I'm not allowing too much possession on the edge of the box like that. Because eventually, if those shots keep coming, one of them is surely going to creep their way into the back of the net.
And we talked a lot about this right-back position, but now we're seeing Ramos in there, and I'm expecting to see more of that, to be honest with you. Either Ramos or Varane being used in those full-back positions, just because the further on and on in the tournament that we go, the more we are seeing that back post cross-down.
And Ramos fits the right-back position better than Varane, just because of his work rates mainly, and also because he does have better shooting stats. So if he is up the pitch and he happens to have the ball fall to him in one of those positions, for example, we saw Sandro a fullback score for Tex in the previous game. You would rather have just that extra little bit of firepower. But it's Hasu going forward again, but Fiddle very good defensively, closing him down with several players there, not giving him very much space going forward.
Here comes the American then. Apart from that one shot, which was from Hasu, no real big opportunities to write about in the first 30 minutes. Good tackle again there from Ruud Gullit, just dallying on the ball for just a few seconds there, Lionel Messi, and now Hasu's going to come forward again. Both these players very patient in their build-up play. First time that I've had the opportunity to actually see Hasu in action and see what he does right and what's been so impressive about him. Messi now turning, gets round Marcelo. Good patient play, but no real options for him to use here. Ramos finally offers him that option. Patient stuff here again. Pull it round the corner to Pele. Just showed enough of it to Lionel Messi, though, and he wins the ball back.
And it's not like Hasu has had an easy run so far in this tournament as well. He's taken down players like the Stranger. But here's going to be maybe an opening chance for Fiddle. Cristiano Ronaldo on the edge, just dinks it in. Messi can't get hold of it. Gullit is going to chip it away. 7-4 he beat the Stranger. The Stranger, who I remind you came second at Paris Games Week. Had an absolutely fantastic tournament in that first LQE. And is very high up in those leaderboards as well.
Kante then inside. A little bit of space here for Ruud Gullit. You can see Fiddle desperately trying to move his CDM across there to cover that space and cover that ground to make that finesse shot more difficult. Neymar is in behind here, but couldn't be found by that pass from the right back. What are your thoughts on the first 40 minutes or so of this game, Dan? What have you seen?
I mean, going forward, Hasu has looked good. He's made a lot of passing plays, a lot of 1-2s that have managed to work him into some decent areas. But he just needs to try and find a way of escaping the constant pressure from Fiddle. Oh, speaking of pressure, he clatters the post. He goes again, though. Oh, and to tell you what, Hasu is doing really well to survive some of this pressure from Fiddle.
First time that we've really seen the American burst into life, and he almost found the goal to break the deadlock. Kante now going forward for Hasu. Maybe a goal before half-time or into stoppage time. Gullit into Pele. Round the corner to Gullit. Hey, quick off his line, though. Close down that space. And that is going to be the half-time whistle.
Again, fantastic pass and move from him. Does get the opportunity, does sneak his way into the box. But unfortunately, the keeper gets there nice and early. On the other side, it's just been incredible from Fiddle on the fact that he has defended so well. He's always had 1, 2, maybe even 3 players just constantly charging down, not allowing space. The one time there was space on the edge of the box for Hasu, he had a finesse shot. It almost went in. And I think Fiddle needs to be very careful of that.
So we're into the second half then of our first leg. Changing personnel, fresh legs. We've seen it a lot, those front four being interchanged. Obviously, you've got so many options up front now. You've got Eusebio, you've got Pele, you've got CR7, R9, Neymar, Mbappe. So many incredible foot items. You can afford to just kind of interchange them and make sure that you've got fresh legs in all of those attacking positions. I've seen it a lot from all of these pros. Attempted first-time finesse shot there from the American Fiddle. Hasu again. Holding up well, though, to be fair. Both players have defended very, very solidly so far in this game.
Yeah, both players really struggled to get in and behind the back line. They've been able to make the passes. They've been able to get on the edge of the box and try a few finesse shots or long shots, but no real one-on-one opportunities, which might be the difference, which might separate these two players. At the moment, neither player actually able to find that. Those balls that keep going down the wing, they keep being intercepted early. Both fullbacks are playing very aggressively on either side of the pitch, which is creating for quite the battle.
Here's Marcelo then. He's created a few good opportunities, that Team of the Year, Marcelo, for a lot of players this weekend. Just if you can get him into those advanced positions, he has such great acceleration. You can kind of just burst away from the fullback. Kante then, on the edge of the box, goes for the Ronaldo, and De Gea moves across smartly there for Fiddle, showing how he's got this far in the tournament. He seems to have got that goalkeeper movement down.
Is that what we're calling a finesse now? The Ronaldo.
The Ronaldo.
He goes for the Ronaldo. I mean, maybe we should name it something else. If one player just hits him every single time. But the real question is it going to change when we do see the patch come into question? Are we going to see players have to adapt? The answer is probably yes, but they always find a way.
Messi turns back onto his left. Fantastic goal from Hasso. I think everyone who was watching was expecting that first time finesse shot back across goal. He turned back. The defender lunged in, and then with the outside of his left foot went near post. And he found the top corner there. The deadlock is finally broken, and it's the man that we haven't seen that's been the talk of Bucharest who finds that first goal.
I say the players are going to find a way not to score from finesse shots. There's one. Just great positioning, working the ball into a fantastic area. The first real one-on-one chance that we've seen was a clear-cut opportunity, and he took it. And as the couch pointed out, so many German players in this tournament, they've been performing phenomenally thus far. But can we see one of them finally reach the heights that we know they're capable of? Ooh. Because even Mo Alba, the fact he was at every tournament prior to this, he still wasn't able to get into a console final. He was always falling short. Megabit also falling short. Maybe Hasso can be that man to really show up for Germany.
Certainly holding the German flag aloft at this point. See Fiddle thinking about some changes here as we're inside the last half an hour. Ronaldo for Hasso. The attentions are under the attentions of Patrick Vieira. There's Mbappe. Oh, good strike on goal. De Gea equal to it, but just gives the ball away almost immediately. Mbappe beats Vieira to the ball there. And now we're seeing Hasso really start to flex his muscles. He's inside the box, looks for that back post cross. Oh, it's a miss! But he gets away with it there. The last thing you want to see in that situation is an own goal. And thankfully, that's not what we saw.
Fiddle needs to be extremely careful. Throwing that ball out just a little bit too quickly. Yes, okay. If it does get to that right midfielder, you are going to have the chance of maybe hitting your opponent on the counter-attack. But I think the downsides are bigger than the upsides in those kind of scenarios. So he does need to be a little bit careful. Just take a little extra second to control the ball before trying to throw that out with the goalkeeper.
Kante then for Hasso. Coming forward, and there's been that conversation that we've had a few times between Vieira and Kante, and you can see Kante in the midfield here for the German. Has the ability to let fly as well. Has that tight dribbling. Offers so much more going forward than Patrick Vieira, but does lack a little bit defensively, comparatively, with that size and that reach. R9 comes back here and wins the ball back for Fiddle, though. Now Eusebio, fresh on the pitch. CR7 looking for that run and finds that run here of Eusebio. Is in behind Marcelo. Might be thinking about a cross towards the back post, but recycles back inside here. Stout defending, though, from Hasso. Well read, and Kante showing that he can get it done in front of his back four as well.
And those are the kind of balls that Fiddle's been trying to get through. He's trying to play it out wide, but Marcelo usually has been cutting them off. He finally gets a chance, but he doesn't really do much with it. He didn't cut inside, he didn't try and work it into the box. He played it out to the edge, which was somewhat predictable in the grand scheme of things. And it means Hasso gets one more chance to attack here. Neymar does fall in the box. It's a legitimate tackle. As we get to the latter stages of this first leg, can Fiddle find something? He has hit the post once already. But boy, does he need a goal to really give him some confidence. And yeah, he's just relentless, Kante. That's why I like him in midfield.
He's like a hound dog just chasing the ball. Ramos comes in here for Fiddle. He gets a little lucky break here. Cristiano Ronaldo is going to pick the ball up. Is there a goal in the last 5 minutes here for Fiddle? He gives the ball away, though. Good tackle there from Hasso. And look at the space on this right-hand side here for Eusebio. Space means time off the clock at this point. But another mistake here. Oh, luckily, the assistant referee's flag does go up. But like I was saying, when you see a player in space towards the end of the game, it means time off the clock. You can just run into that space, walk into that space if you need to, and just run that clock down and put yourself moments away from winning this first leg.
Ball back in possession just at the right time, though. As I say that, it just gets nipped away, and it seems like every time Fiddle is on the ball, he just tries to go for a little bit too much of a risky pass, where if he just takes an extra touch or two, Just watch for those runs to extend a little bit more. He might have had a better chance, but right at the end of this first leg, Hasu's found a second. Again, off the back of a mistake from Fiddle, just giving the ball away in midfield. And the German now is starting to head towards those semi-finals.
And just that little lack of concentration defensively that can happen when all your thoughts are going towards, how do I get back into this game? I need to get the ball back. I need to fight for possession and then create a chance of my own. You can switch off at the back. And that's what's just happened there for Fiddle. Now he's down by 2 goals. Changes the complexion, but he might be able to get one almost immediately from the kickoff. Kante, though, again, he's been superb here for Hasso, and he's going to carry a 2-goal lead into our second leg here in Bucharest. I mean, the German just keeps rolling on. I don't know who can stop him right now.
Yeah, Fiddle hasn't really looked too dangerous aside from that one opportunity which struck the post. Maybe if that had gone in, this game could have looked completely different with a 1-0 lead. Hasu might have to change things up and he might not have been comfortable. But Fiddle just needs to focus on that positive. All right, I did create the chance. I did hit the post. There are slight weaknesses in the defense. But there were several times when Fiddle was going forward, he was just trying to play silly balls that weren't on. He was just passing it into the feet of Hasu. You could hope that it's going to go through their legs, sure, but he had passes on that were legitimate. Whether he goes backwards, I don't care. Just keep possession for that little bit longer.
You can see those. That is what the players are playing for, that trophy. And all of these players, every single round that goes past at the moment, every single leg that goes past, they get one step closer. But Hasu, I mean, we can't stop talking about him in this moment, and nor should we. You talked about the perfect Swiss record, and now he's come into this quarterfinal, and he's up 2-0 over his opponent. Now, I can't see many weaknesses in his game, to be honest with you, from what I've seen there. This is the first time that I've had the opportunity to commentate on, obviously, you as well. It just seems like defensively, he's been very, very solid. Doesn't look like there's a lot of mistakes there. And he seems to have variety going forward as well. Definitely one to look out for here as a potential tournament winner.
I think the only thing that might be able to get through this brick wall in defense is a couple of skill moves. We haven't really seen Fiddle even use a cricketer here or there ever in this game. Maybe that's all he needs. If he can beat that first man, then suddenly Hensu is going to be a little bit under pressure, and he might just bring one more extra player out of position. And then there is the opportunity that Fiddle has been waiting for. A couple more skill moves, if it's in the arsenal for Fiddle, maybe what he needs in this second leg.
Well, semi-final spot is what these players are fighting for here in Bucharest. Second leg underway. It's going to be Fiddle who's going to be playing in the black this time. Maybe a change of fortune for him. Hullet comes forward early on. CR7 round the corner. Oh, what a save from David De Gea. The Spaniard's left leg got down to it. Ronaldo now at the front post of De Gea. He switched on at the start of this game. 2 big saves coming out the Spaniard.
A win for Hasu here would jump him up the leaderboards from 148th to approximately 14th, of course, depending on results from other players at this tournament as well. But if none of those results counted, he would be all the way up to 14th. That's how huge a win this would be in the Global Series rankings, which would give him an absolutely incredible chance at getting to those playoffs later in the year.
Hasu again just being patient in the midfield. Interchanging the ball between Kante and Hullet. Now he spreads it out wide, and Messi tests De Gea at the other end. And so far there's been 3 opportunities and 3 saves from David De Gea. 2 at one end and now 1 from the other.
Fiddle just has to sit back and absorb this pressure and just watch as chance after chance goes begging for Hasu, and just hope that he can start to get a couple of chances on the board. All he needs is a couple shots on goal just to make Hasu a little bit more hesitant in defence, start doubting his defence, and then more chances will start flowing for sure. But I don't know whether Hasu is going to give, because at the moment defensively he's looked so solid. Look at the pressure with his centre-backs there.
Here's Mbappe then, maybe a chance to strike it, try to feed the run of Hullet instead there, Fiddle. The more that the moments pass by for the American, the more that he'll start thinking, what do I have to change? When do I change? He might not be thinking about it right now, but as I say, get to just before half-time when the score's saying the same, and he will have those thoughts start creeping into his mind. Fiddle has looked dangerous going forward, though. There has been gaps in behind. just hasn't been able to find that final pass.
It's just beating that man. Hasu is manually controlling his centre-backs quite often. He's getting aggressive, he's pressing. All Fiddle needs is a cricketer just to beat that man. Anything, any sort of skill move, while the player is controlled manually, we'll see him have that opportunity, we'll see him have that space. And he just needs to see that himself. Because he's just been trying to play a passing game and he's been losing that passing game to Hasu, who plays a better passing game from what we can see thus far.
Well, it wins it back then for Fiddle. Pushes R9 off the ball. Neymar now in this fullback position. A little bit of room here for Vieira. Look for that ball out wide to those wide cams. Does find Mbappe, but it is via a deflection, so it'll be a throw-in now. Almost halfway through this first half of the second leg. It's a good ball there. Into the feet of Neymar. Good keeper movement, though, from Hasu.
Too predictable, unfortunately for him. Hasu knew full well where that ball was going to be ending up as soon as he got anywhere near Neymar's feet. So maybe we need to see Fiddle switch things up. Back post crosses, potentially. I don't think I need to reiterate that he should try a skill move to beat a man, but this is always the danger. Hasu on the counter-attack now.
Pele inside the box. There's a man over here as well. Ronaldo doesn't use him. Relies on the keeper movement to make the save. And De Gea keeps Fiddle in this one. Good goalkeeper movement, though, from Fiddle. Now he comes forward once more. Hullet just burst past his man there. Mbappe's trying to get to the ball, but it's going to be Hasu who'll bring this one away in a lovely spread of the play. You saw the amount of space that Pele had. And that's just going to increase as this game goes on. Great ball over the top. CR7 tried to turn it around the corner there. You saw Messi was hovering.
I don't know whether Fiddle just doesn't really have skill moves available to him. Maybe he just hasn't practiced them. He's never incorporated that into his game. But he's very reluctant to run it down the wing and then try and beat a man and get into the box. And maybe it's something like that he needs to actually get a chance or so here. Mbappe's made several runs out on the left. He could have played it down the wing, but he hasn't. He's just cut inside every time, which has just allowed Hasu to constantly dominate the middle of the park. He's moving that centre-back up, he's pressuring, and then as soon as he does that, the CDMs are just filling that centre-back position, which is just making it harder and harder for Fiddle to break down this wall.
10 minutes then till half-time now. Vieira brings the ball forward. Good pressure, though, from Hasu. Fiddle somehow comes out with it. Ronaldo now shows just too much of it to Marcelo. Hasu's defence has been very impressive, though. Now we are obviously saying that we feel like Fiddle maybe could do a little bit more in that final third. But it's so difficult when you're coming up against a defender who is defending so well. And there's another loose pass from Fiddle. Gets the ball back. Luckily, Kante's trying to snap into another tackle almost immediately. Messi now round the corner to CR7. Another great tackle, though, from Hasso. This time it was Rio Ferdinand. And he'll just spread the play out to the Brazilian, Marcelo. And this is his game to lose now.
And I can see why Fiddle has won games. Don't get me wrong, even though I am somewhat criticising his play in this game, it's because he's coming up against a better player. Hasu is just playing him off the park. He's playing a better passing game than Fiddle is. And maybe he's just finally met his match. Sometimes that happens in tournaments. You just reach a point where players just are better than you at the game. It happens to everyone in Weekend League at home. And Hasu has a chance to go 3 up, but decent defensive work from Fiddle. And that's the thing, this game could quite easily be 0-0. Fiddle has defended well. It's not like he's been poor at the back. It's just been those couple of lapse moments that has allowed Hasu in behind, and he's taken those chances, which is why we're at 2-0.
Kante trying to fight back here, and Messi's got the ball on the edge of the box. Lovely quick passing. Hullet hit that one green, but there was no power behind it whatsoever. And there is the half-time whistle. Nothing changed then from the start of this second leg as far as what Fiddle has to do. He's had a couple of opportunities, a couple of shots, but nothing really too scary for Hasso there. He's dealt with it pretty comfortably.
Yeah, there is no reason for Hasu to be even remotely worried at this point. The only thing that is going to lose this game for him now is himself. If he makes a couple of mistakes at the back, if he plays the ball and it goes wayward and he gives an opportunity to Fiddle. If Fiddle plays the way he's been playing for the first leg and this first half, he's just going to lose this game. He needs to change something up now. It needs to be either a tactical change or, as I said, just something different out of the locker. He's been very one-dimensional in how he's approached the game.
Hasu then from the restart. He's going to be quite happy to hold the ball in these kind of areas. Doesn't have to risk anything here. Nice little quick pass though. Try to fire it into the strikers. So those attacking-minded players. Now Fiddle can come away again. You just feel that this is the period of the game. If Fiddle can find a goal here, then we'll have to see what Hasu's made of. See how he performs on the back foot. FIFA's a very simple game when you're winning. But all of a sudden, when that pressure changes, and those doubts start to creep into your mind, things can change. Big tackle, though, from Sergio Ramos.
I mean, I'll give Fiddle credit. I do often say that players should play their own game, and he is sticking to his game plan. He's not changed anything yet. I think maybe around the 65th minute, we might see him kind of throw everything forward. There's that pause, preparing for it. Maybe we'll see perhaps 3 at the back and just getting more aggression on the pitch. But he is starting to get a little bit more possession. Has the strike. Can he get lucky?
There
he needed it.
There
oh boy, he needed it. That's his chance back into the game. He has not looked threatening at all in this second leg. And now Hasu is just going to have that seed of doubt implanted in his head, Mark.
Okay, now this gets interesting. Now Fiddle has some decisions to make. He might have been thinking, just as he queued up that pause, I need 2 goals. Is it time to go 3 at the back? Throw everything forward. Now a change of formation. The 4-2-2 might be the option. Maybe think about that 4-1-2-1-2 narrow. Get those 2 strikers up top. But, you know, a lot of fortune has gone his way there. But sometimes fortune favours the brave. Mbappe, again, showing that spring. Gets that header. 1 goal the difference between the 2 players. Somewhere in the building, Jimmy Conrad is glued to his screen.
Chanting USA just under his breath, but it's slowly getting louder and louder. And as Fiddle gets closer and closer to maybe getting back into this game, Jimmy is going to be smiling even more so. But that's the chance. That's the way back into this game now for Fiddle. And you said, what's the mentality of Hasu going to be like? How does he react to it? Is his head going to drop? He was unfortunate, and sometimes that can rattle a player.
Here's CR7 then for Fiddle. Neymar out wide now. And all of a sudden, the momentum seems to have just shifted in this game. The ball into the box. Fortunately, Lionel Messi was the player who was in the box trying to win the header. Cristiano Ronaldo, you might have a chance there, but a little Argentine, unfortunately. The one thing he lacks is that height. Now Hasu pushes the ball forward. I like the idea, to be honest with you. You know, we know about the heading prowess of Cristiano Ronaldo and how good he is in the air. Sometimes when that pressure is high, you can just lift that ball over the midfield and look to use that aerial power to win a knockdown and keep possession. But Fiddle's got the ball back. Hasu very much under pressure now. As we approach the last 20 minutes or so of this game, Messi to Hullet. Space in this fullback area for Marcelo if he chooses to use him.
10 men behind the ball now for Hasu as well. Very much on the defensive. It really has changed his mentality. The twist, the turn. Doesn't find the goal though. De Gea just moved across to stop that. As Hasu slows things down. Keeps the ball in De Gea's hands for a little bit. He's just going to try and pass this one out. But in the end, he has to lob it into midfield.
Ronaldo's going to win those all day though. It doesn't matter who he's up against. We've heard from a lot of pros saying maybe Van Dijk's the only player who can really deal with the power of Cristiano Ronaldo in the air. There is the pause then. I think we're waiting expectantly, as everyone at home is as well, to see what these changes are going to be, and luckily we get to see it from the point of view of Fiddle as well. R9 on the pitch. Eusebio out wide as well, so fresh legs. Obviously we can't see the dynamic tactics either, but we'll keep an eye and see if we can see them being switched.
And Kante being brought on as well for Vieira, so opting for a CDM who is slightly more attacking based. He does have that pace, that speed to join in on the attack, and does have quite the foot on him as well to rifle those in from the edge of the area.
Here is Kante then, R9 on the edge of the box, turning. Hullet's marshalling him. Eusebio now, one of those fresh players on the pitch. Good tackle, but oh, that's just lazy. Little lack of concentration there from Fiddle. And you can't afford that towards the end of these games. CR7 wins the header once more. I like how Hasso is using that tactic and just taking time out of the game as well, but Fiddle now coming forward, flying forward at this point. Ronaldo turns, gets a little bit of a lucky break again. R9 inside the box, tried to find Mbappe, but couldn't get that ball through. And now you can almost feel the nerves on the main stage here in Bucharest.
9 minutes left, and there are going to be opportunities at the back. But good defending, but there is still white shirts there. Fiddle intercepts. Can he put a dagger through the heart of Hasso here, who has dominated so long?
Cristiano Ronaldo's in behind here. Fiddle with a chance to find an equaliser, pops it into the box. Mbappe goes up in time, the header, but Sergio Ramos wins the header. That's why he's in at that right-back position, for moments like that. Now Hasso straight up the other end. Spreads the play out to Eusebio. Ramos. Eusebio once more. Marcelo can't get enough of the ball in that tackle to win possession back.
And
this is so frustrating here for Fiddle.
It's going to be keep ball now, here on out for Hasso. Fiddle maybe will get one more chance if he's lucky, if he can pressure enough to win the ball. There it is. Kante gets it. And there's men streaming forward.
Mbappe around the outside then. 2 men in the box. Do you risk the cross? Do you roll the dice? Kante. Fiddle. Needs an equaliser. What a tackle though from Hasso. And now with that tackle you feel that the game is going to be over, and it is. The German marches on. Hasso continues his fine run here in Bucharest. He will take down Fiddle and he will move into the semi-finals.
Oh, diddle, diddle, the cat and the fiddle. The nursery rhyme is over. No further story for him. Hasso moves forward, and he will be more than happy to get into those semi-finals.
Okay, now we're going to move over to Pico versus Tuga. Interesting to see these two players. Again, two players that we haven't really talked a lot about so far in this tournament. Interesting to see what the score is here, and it's Pico who has a 3-2 lead in this one. On aggregate, very tight game once again, as we should expect at this point in the tournament. Every single game should be tight, you would imagine, unless, unfortunately, you come up against F2 Techs in a quarterfinal.
Pico is one of the players that did beat Fiddle in the Swiss stage, but he also, I believe, he lost to Hasso. So he's faced some of these players that we're seeing progress as well. As often happens as you get to the latter stages, we start to see rematches occur. And it's always interesting jumping into a game late, Mark, because, of course, we can't tell the full story. But you sometimes get into a situation where players are playing with formations that maybe aren't their natural formations, where they've gone a little bit more aggressive or a little bit more defensive. And that often opens up games.
What a header that is from Cancelo. Found the wide man. Pico, of course, playing in the white here. Cancelo now down the line. I believe that's Thierry Henry is actually on the pitch here. Whips it in towards the back post. That should be fairly comfortable for De Gea. And then Tuga now wins the ball back. Gives the ball away though. This could be the chance to wrap things up here. Messi, if he can play this one well, he can't find the pass, unfortunately. That was a real opportunity just to put a bow on things here. Tuga survives. He comes away once more. A little bit of space here for Eusebio now, for Tuga. Modric on the pitch. Neymar now, Hullet. Looking to find that ball into... Oh, that inside channel was a nice idea. Well defended, though, by Pico, and he comes away again.
A slight difference in global ranking points between the two. Pico currently sitting 64th with 212 points, whereas Tuga down in 212th with 98 Global Series ranking points. Both of them will have already secured 450, of course, for getting to the quarterfinal, which, as I've said before, absolutely massive in the grand scheme of things, but they want to make that 625 by getting to the semi-finals. And of course, that extra cash dollar in your pocket for getting further and further in the knockout stages. Of course, 50,000 available for the winner of this tournament.
Pico doing a good job defending here. He's coming under pressure, though, as you would expect. Tuga needs to find a goal to send this to extra time. Giving the ball away, though. Pico, that's dangerous. And Neymar with a chance here. Beautiful heel to heel. Oh, you've got to hit it in that situation. Surely. Oh, what do I know? He's a clairvoyant. He can see the future. And the game has been tied up at 3-3.
Well, we talk about fortune favouring the brave. Very brave to go across goal when you have that opportunity right in front of you, but it's about being unpredictable. He thought maybe he had to go across goal. Hullet has done an incredible job to win that ball back. Yes, okay, it's bumbled around the box. Neymar very lucky to get there in the end, but I don't think that it's going to matter on the side of Tuga. He's going to be happy it went in the back of the net, and we're back all squared up now.
Yeah, at this point in the tournament, you don't care how goals come. As long as they come, that's the important thing, and it's now tied up at 3-3. Pico had the chance to clear that a couple of times. Didn't take those chances, and now he's going to be ruining that situation. Has to change his game plan now, has to go back up the other end and find a way to get back into the lead. Vieira out wide now. Ooh, Thierry Henry took that one first time.
But already we've seen in this game how much of a difference skill moves can make. We saw one heel to heel. It's created a goal-scoring opportunity. Oh, and now there's so much space.
Neymar's clean through. He's one-on-one. Oh, what a save! What a save that is. Given the context of the game, given the time in the game, to come up with a save like that, that's huge.
And Pico is probably just going to use this pause now just to kind of reset and relax, because this game has almost got away from him after having a goal lead mere 5 minutes ago in-game. But as you said, very good goalkeeper movement.
Yeah, at this point in the tournament, you don't care how goals come.
It looks like at the moment we might head to extra time unless we do see something special from Tuga from this corner.
Whipped in. CR7 gets there. De Gea cannot be beaten at the moment.
And Ronaldo is so dangerous at that front post, and he's going for it again. This time Vieira gets there before him.
Interesting to see Pico opting not to move his goalkeeper as well from those corners. It's something we see almost exclusively now from pros, moving that goalkeeper just off of his line towards that front post to negate that front post header. Not opting to do so, and it's leaving a real option.
It can come with its risks, though. Sometimes if the keeper is moved to that front post, they can quickly ping it to the back post, be headed down, and then it's a free opportunity for the player just stood in the middle of the box. So there's both upsides and downsides to it. You are completely right. The goalkeeper movement from corners is so prevalent now. With just a few minutes left, it's Tuga who looks the more likely to score here.
Neymar looking dangerous out on this right-hand side again. Ronaldo back inside. Didn't get the timing right whatsoever, but the ball falls to him again. Heel to heel from Neymar. It worked before. He's trying to find that ball back across goal. CR7 was screaming for it in the middle. Another corner then. Vieira beats Cristiano Ronaldo to the ball. Stoppage time here. Can Tuga find a winner?
I'm sure at this point Pico would just love to hear that final whistle. He's under so much pressure. Cristiano Ronaldo has a dance in the box, but it's not going to work out. And that's going to be us going to extra time now. What a game we've joined here.
What a time to join it, as you say. Maybe slightly fortunate to find that goal to tie things up, but he had the chance to win it after that 1v1 situation. Neymar versus David De Gea. Great goalkeeper movement to keep him out. And I mean, that's about as equal a game as you could possibly want on score, on chances, and almost on possession as well.
Yeah, Pico slightly favouring the possession. He's probably just been working that ball a little bit more. We've seen that throughout various tournaments. You have your players who work their way up the pitch and will take their time with their chances. And on the opposite side, you've got your players who will just quickly throw that ball out with the keeper, steaming up the pitch, and see if they can catch their opponent off guard on the break. Here we go, 30 more minutes then in game to see who can join the likes of Hasu in that semi-final.
Pico then from kickoff here. Can he create a chance? Ronaldo on the edge of the box. He hasn't had too much to write home about towards the end of that game. Vieira coming under pressure here from the front line. of Tuga. Spread out wide here. Nice possession play here from Pico. Modric now. We know the stats that he has. The best all-rounded foot item of all time, I think, as far as in-game stats are concerned. Messi now on his left foot. Mbappe's dropped the shoulder. David De Gea's dropped his entire body, and he's got in the way of the ball.
Very important, and it's also so difficult to get round those keepers when they do hit the floor like that and just stretch every inch of themselves. But now on the counter-attack with Tuga. He is looking for that pass across the box as Eusebio works his way in. But Pico does manage to close down these players quite successfully. It's only been the times when Tuga has pulled out a heel-to-heel or a croqueta that he's been able to beat those men. If Pico could just stay close enough that those skills are ineffective, that does hurt Tuga's game ever so slightly.
Is that going to be a foul? Yes, it is. Referee gives a free kick here. Ramos, the player, committing it. 37 yards from goal. Wouldn't be surprised to see this one just taken short. Maybe try work an opportunity for one of those finesse shots in and around the D. She decides to play this one back towards his centre-backs.
I mean, it is smart. There were several red shirts that were absolutely bombarding towards him, and he just wants to keep the ball here and not give away an easy opportunity. And you can tell from the possession stat, of course we haven't seen the whole game, but we can tell from possession that he does like to slowly, methodically move his way up the pitch. And now he is just going to be back and forth with Mbappe here, turning around. It's Messi.
Into the box. Oh, almost found the pass in, but stoppage time here means that the first half is pretty much going to be done, and there it is, the whistle. So as we move into the second half of extra time here, are one of these players going to find that special moment? Will it be a mistake? Or once again, will we be going to a heartbreaking, nerve-jangling penalty shootout?
From the kickoff, Tuga has that opportunity to get forward like he has done previously. And I really feel like it could be just a simple skill move like a croqueta just to beat one of those men that might actually give Tuga that chance he so desperately needs. He's probably thinking about that one-on-one with Neymar just before we got to the end of 90 minutes and how if he had just put that the right way, he could have won this tie. And oh, what a chance!
Lala just fired it across goal, but nobody wanted it.
Of 90 minutes.
The ball was into a great area,
the right way.
And now Pico has the chance to get an attack. Great move from Tuga, got in behind, and as you say, Lala was the player who actually fired it back across goal. Just didn't find a target for him.
And boy, does extra time disappear so quickly.
It really does.
Already, we've only got 8 minutes left in game.
Ronaldo on the edge of the box, on that right foot, gets another bite at the cherry. And now straight up the other end now. This might well be one of the last attacks of the game here. Tuga comes forward. Look at the running behind from Lionel Messi. Look at the space through the middle for CR7. Look at the space on the right-hand side for Neymar. And Neymar finds the finish. In the last knock-ins of the game, Tuga finds the finish from Neymar, slides it under the goalkeeper. And it looks like we might not be going to penalties. This might be settled before that deathly shootout.
Pico's just brought his keeper out that little bit and hoping when he hit the floor he could block it, but somehow Neymar's crept it under the goalkeeper.
It's a great
there.
finish.
But how has Neymar got that much space out on the right? He's caught him on the counter-attack, I think. Pico just using that left back just a little bit too much up the pitch. Maybe it's Marcelo. Can't quite remember. But probably Marcelo, because Marcelo does often go wandering up the pitch. Very aggressive-minded player. And now, considering when we joined this, Pico had the lead. He was a goal up. But Tuga has had the chances. And now, he just needs to hold out for 5 more minutes in game.
And speaking of 5 minutes, and the number 5 is 5 at the back time. He just needs to hold on for a few minutes. Oh. Slides it. Almost toe pokes it under David De Gea, the on-rushing goalkeeper. And to keep your composure in those kind of moments, he would have had flashbacks of that chance he missed at the end of regulation time. He would have known that he threw away a chance that's very similar. So you have to give him credit for the mentality to bounce back and for the resilience shown to take that chance. Pico only has 1 or 2, maximum of 2 more attacks left in this game, so he has to make this possession count.
Well, several things would have been going through the mind of Tuga as he approached that ball. He went for the driven shot in the end, and it did work out. Fantastic composure considering the scenario. And now Pico just has to presume that every attack of his is going to be the last. He crosses it in, it goes out wide. Somehow Cancelo's got it. Plays it back to Henry.
Messi now on the edge of the box. Drag back. Lala gets a foot in. Lala gets another one in, and Messi just sends it into the stands. More seconds off the clock. That is all that he cares about at this point. Ball down the line. Mbappe. Trying to save the tournament. Here it is. Cancelo of all players trying to get in the way. Ball's going to drop. Varane clears it away. Big win there. Vieira gets the ball, and I think that might be it. Henry trying to get up. Ramos with a huge defensive header. And that is going to be the last action of the game. What a win coming in. It was a tight game, but Tuga, the player who manages to close it out, who held his nerve when that chance presented itself.
Tuga, 212 on the leaderboards, on the PS4 side of things. Has just secured himself 625 more Global Series ranking points. We'll see him absolutely soar up the leaderboards.
Yeah, that's a huge win, and you can see how much it means to him as well. It's almost as if he can't believe what he's just done. He's just been through a roller coaster of emotions, going through extra time. He would have been, like I said before, he would have been thinking about that missed chance that he could have won it with, but he made amends when he got that chance at the last minute of extra time to win that game, and he took it. It was a crazy game. We've had crazy games all day today, Dan. It's been a pleasure to be in the booth with you, but for now, we'll send it back to the couch. Jimmy, take it away.
Thank you, guys. We like crazy. It's part of our charm. That's why we like some craziness here. I'm here with Spencer, Owen, and Brandon. That was a crazy ending to that one. Tuga scored late, sent it into overtime, and then he scored late in extra time to end up winning it. He's the number 13 seed. He knocked off the stranger in the previous game, and now he's going to face the number 1, Hasu, who still hasn't lost. Which game do you want to get into first?
Oof, I think we've got to start off with Hasu.
All right, that's our featured match.
First time always played up against Fiddle. It wasn't a game full of loads of goals, was it? It was, what, 3 goals in the end or so. Hasu just about scraped it, didn't he? And you can see obviously the highlights from that game now in front of you. Hasu, a German player. We talk about this German scene that it's so good. 16 players, came out of it today, and can one go the full way? Can it really go and cause some problems? And this man is on the form of his life at the moment. As you said, 5-0 in Swiss style format, and still unbeaten.
Yeah, it took him 60 in-game minutes to get that nice turn at the top of the box. I thought Fiddle maybe would come back in this first leg. Doesn't find a way. Hasu's still in control, even in the dying minutes.
It's the worst time to concede a goal at this time. You're about to go into your second leg at 1-0.
You're probably already thinking about your tactics for your second leg.
You'll take that and you go and concede. Then, as I say, you haven't got a hill to climb, you've got a mountain to climb.
I mean, they always tell you that the worst goals to give up are the first 5 and last 5 minutes of any half. And that's a heartbreaker.
It's also where a lot of the goals are often scored.
It's true.
And people see that as like some patterns and stuff like that. There's a reason goals go in late in games, and it's a number of reasons. One is people start to play differently. They start to panic. 2 is stamina and tiredness. Gaps started to be created. If you're looking for that goal, you're going to commit bodies, which means you might get it, but subsequently you also might leave a gap. So there's a reason you see a lot of goals going in. Like in real life, for example, this season, I think Arsenal won a lot of points in the latter stage of games, and that's almost a tactic of sorts.
So Hasu holds on for the 2-1 victory, his closest scoreline throughout this whole tournament. What does that do now for him and his confidence? Now he has another night to relax and prepare for the next day.
Well, anyone that gets this semi-final console stage has got 625 points. That is pretty much guaranteeing you a spot in the playoffs, right? Especially when you combine it with weekend league points, which all these guys are going to have in the hundreds for. So, yeah, well done to them. They're going to be in the playoffs almost certainly. So we know their season is alive and well. They've still got time to add to those points. They could even, if they have a great tournament here tomorrow or in subsequent tournaments, book themselves a spot in the World Cup before they even get to the playoffs. So it means they're in great shape, basically.
All right, well, we're talking a lot about Hasu, but we have his opponent for tomorrow. It's Tuga. He's with Kyle Walker.
Cheers, Jimmy. Yes, I am here with Tuga. What a performance by him. Now, a lot of you people won't be able to see actually what happens in this room. I get to see it firsthand. I get to see all these amazing competitors going against each other, and what a game it was. You've secured your place in the Xbox semi-finals there for tomorrow. How are you feeling?
And it's feel amazing. It was a really tough game against Pico, one of the greatest players that I ever faced here. but I managed to win somehow. A little bit of luck, yeah, I can tell you, but it's unbelievable.
A little bit of luck. You need a little bit, though. Will that luck be continuing into tomorrow, do you hope?
Yeah, I hope so. Now it's game by game, step by step, no pressure. I have 98 points. It's so few, but I hope to get the most as possible, man.
Well, you're guaranteed 625 Global Series ranking points. That puts you way up on the leaderboard. Are you already thinking about playoffs? Are you thinking about that already?
No, I think I have two tournaments yet to play, so I'm not thinking about the playoffs. I'm thinking about this tournament right now, and my thought is I really want that trophy is right there, but I know that I have so much to prove, so much to play, and I hope to smile tomorrow.
Hopefully you will be smiling, but you can have a big smile anyway because you're doing amazing. But this is your first tournament, your first major tournament here. How does that feel? You've got so far in it. You're doing everyone so proud. It must be a great feeling.
Yeah, it's my first tournament. I'm not able to play all the qualifiers. I was able to play this one, which I qualified. Yeah, it was a pleasure to be here along with these top players, top 10, 20 players, meet them, meet some good players, play against them. It's an unbelievable feeling that I'm living right now.
And is there one player you want to avoid? Is there someone you don't want to face?
Maybe Stefano Pina, because I have played against him 2 times. One in the qualifier that I lost in the golden goal, and now in Swiss round that I lost in penalties. So I should avoid him.
Well, hopefully you might bring some more luck. You might be able to beat him. Back to you guys on the couch.
Thank you, Kyle and Tuga. Doesn't want to play Stefano Pina.
Who does? Who does?
Yeah.
One thing that I think is interesting though about him and Hasu, who will be playing tomorrow, and Brandon was just mentioning it there, is that before this they'd only had points from the weekend league. And I don't think we've made a point about talking about it enough, which is to the guys at home that are looking at getting into this sort of thing. The process now has never been simpler. You play your weekend league, you get your FUT verification by winning 27 games, then you play a subsequent online qualification, which you qualify for through getting 27 wins to try and get in the next tournament. So that's all these guys have done. They've played FUT Champs at home, qualified online, and now they're here. And not only are they here, they're in the playoffs.
Yeah.
It's just that simple. It's just all from playing online and sticking at it. So it could be anyone watching at home in the next few tournaments.
Well, that's looking ahead. Let's also look ahead to the next set of quarterfinals, because you people at home watching the stream, you get to vote. Go to Next Match FIFA. That's the hashtag you have to use. And the Twitter handle is EA FIFA Esports. And here are our 2 choices. You can see Salazar take on Ajax Danny and Dolan Mike taking on Vinny.
They're 2 tasty matchups, aren't
they? Those are really tasty. If we could influence the crowd, who would you guys want to go with?
For me, I think you've got to sway towards 2 giants playing for 2 massive football clubs as well, in Benedikt Salza for Wolfsburg and Ajax Danny, who knocked out the world champion in MS Desire. I think that's going to be the fans' favourite.
Yeah, I'd agree. Danny games are very rarely dull. Always an entertaining player to watch, so I'd like to watch that one.
Okay, well, you heard it here first on the couch. 4 quarterfinals are done. 4 more are coming up. You're not going to want to miss it, so come right back.
Marcuso overall rating at playing FIFA from a scale of 1 to 10 is for me definitely 10. I mean, he's the current vice world champion on PS4 and played so much with him, and yeah, he's a very good player. So for me, it's definitely 10 out of 10.
I think Aggie is one of the best players in FIFA 19 so far. He's qualified for almost every tournament. From online, I would give him 10. In offline events, I would give him 7.
Marcuso's skill moves, I mean, he only do 1 skill move the entire game, so he's very good at this skill move, but he only do 1. So I will not give him 10 out of 10. I will give him 7 out of 10, but he's very good at this 1 skill move.
Agi's skill moves in FIFA is quite nice. He's very intelligent. He used them very well, so I would rate August's skill moves from 1 to 10. I think I would say 8.
Marcus's offense is also very good. Plays a bit different this year compared to last year, I'll say. So I will give him 7 out of 10 again, because I think his strengths are maybe not the offense this year, but in other ways.
August's offense is very good. He's very deadly when he plays the direct play in the 4-1-2-1-2-1-2 narrow. So yeah, I'm very scared when he plays that formation against me, because he's so deadly in the attack. So I would rate him in 10 if he plays the narrow formation.
Marcuso in defense is, I think that is his strength this year. His pressure play is really, really good. It was also last year, but this year is still very good. Where I will give him 9 out of 10. He's very good at getting the ball back fast, so that is why.
His defense is also very strong. August has always been very good in defense. So yeah, I will give him around 9.
Marcuso's passing is, I mean, sometimes he does some fun passes when I've watched him play, but he's still obviously very good at doing the passes as well. So I'll give him 8 out of 10. I think his pressure play is still the best.
August passing in real life, I've seen him play a couple of games, and I think his passing in real life is actually very good. He's very good with both feet, so I would give him around 80, I think. And in FIFA, he's very good as well with the passing in FIFA. He's very good to control the game, so for 1 out of 10, I would give him around 9.
Marcuso's finishing is different from all others this year. I think he doesn't follow the meta that much, and I really like that. So I will give him 8 out of 10 still, because I think people don't expect the way he finished, and I like that.
In real life, August is not the best finisher. From 1 to 10, I would probably give him 2. When it comes to FIFA, August finishing is around 4 because he misses a lot of chances, even though he also scores a lot, but he misses a lot of chances, so I would give him around 4.
Marcuso's speed of play, definitely 10 out of 10. I mean, he plays very fast, and he has always done that. And he's one of the best in the world at putting the pace high up in the game. So 10 out of 10 in that category.
August's speed of play is very good, especially when he plays in air formation. It's very hard to stop because he plays so fast. But when you play the 4-2-3-1, it's a lot more controlled, but his passing play and speed of play is still very good.
I think he doesn't follow the meta that much, and I really like that.
Welcome back, everyone, to Bucharest for the FUT Champions Cup presented by PlayStation 4. I'm Jimmy Conrad, and I'm being joined by Spencer Owen. And hey, look who's back on the couch. It's Boris Legend. Now, before we move forward, I want to give a shout-out to Matilda and Foster. They've been watching every minute of the stream. I just want to give them some love. We thank you for your support. All right, guys. So we voted on the next match, and the people at home, they chose Dolan Mike versus Vinny.
You know, that's the Brazilians coming out strong. Fair play to them. They want to see their boy. And it could be the Germans as well, of course, but I think Vinny's got a good crowd behind him.
So what I find interesting about this side of the bracket on the Xbox side, now listen to this, okay? Rogue Goal Machine, he was ranked 2nd. Salzor was 15th. The seed coming into this, Salzor wins, okay? So the lower seed wins.
Yep.
Then Dasari was the 7th seed, and Danny was 10. Danny wins, okay? There's a theme here. Gorilla was the 3 seed. Dolan Mike was 14 seed. Dolan Mike wins, okay? And then Dylan Jr. was number 6. Vinny was number 11. Vinny wins. So all the lower seeds in this bracket have won. They all must be feeling pretty good about their chances going into this. Like, maybe this is my tournament. Maybe I can do something special this time.
It's the tournament of the underdog. The question is, who's the lower seed in this game?
It is Dolan Mike is the 14 seed. Vinny is number 11. And in fact, actually, let's take a look at their intros. Shout out to Matilda and Foster. They've been watching every minute of That's the first time. Vinny looks really tough.
I was actually quite scared.
Yeah, every single photo. He was giving the game face.
I'm not messing with him.
Dolan Mike looked, I don't know, looked a little happier. Looked happy to be here.
He'll catch me with his net shoes.
Okay, so Vinny comes in with a lot of experience. Dolan Mike, 16 years old. Best run he's ever had at a tournament. You know, who do you think?
And he's had a great result against Gorilla.
Yeah, I mean, he absolutely smashed Gorilla.
Is this prediction time, Jim?
I think I'm leading you into that. Yes.
You're leading me in gently.
You haven't lost yet.
Look at them right in front of me here. Who do
You
I
haven't
go
lost
with?
yet, and they're your predictions today.
Perfect record. Thanks for reminding me. I wasn't going to mention it. I am going to go with the Brazilians at home. Futebol lovers.
Futebol.
Pronounced that probably wrong. But, we're going to go with NSC Vinny for the Brazilians.
Okay.
And look after you.
All right. And Boris?
Yes, so...
yeah, give us a breakdown. Give us the Boris breakdown.
So we're going to see here, we have Dylan Mike, and he's going to come here with great confidence, of course, after beating one of the Giants, Gorilla, and that, I mean, that was not only winning, that was really demolishing. I mean, that was a beating. Statement from this player who is the youngest player in the tournament, 16 years of age. He's playing here against the lowest ranked player who's left on the Xbox side, Vinny, who's making his first tournament here of the year. And Dylan, I think this is his third tournament, so he has some more experience from FIFA 19 LAN tournaments. And with his previous performance, I'm going to go with the German, the youngster, Dylan Mike.
Interesting.
Question, is Dylan Mike the F2 Tex of FIFA 19?
Yet to be determined.
I heard
I feel like F2 Tex is the F2 Tex of FIFA 19.
I heard some rumors also, which are very interesting, and that is that last year, Dylan Mike was an Elite 3 player. So he made a huge move this year.
I'm an Elite 3 player on a good day.
So and maybe that's why you're here on the couch.
Yeah. So you mean next year
still have a chance,
I could be 16.
Playing here at one of these tournaments.
Okay, great.
Okay, so Dylan Mike and Vinny. I spent a lot of time in Brazil. I have a lot of friends down there. You know, it didn't work for me with fiddle because I went with my heart instead of my head, but this time I think Vinny's going to do it.
Okay.
I think he's going to do the business. I'm going to give the old vamos, porra, you know? Those are for my Brazilians.
I know what that
out
means.
there. Yeah. Yeah, it's a good thing. I'm excited for him. So that's my votes. We got 2 Vinnies and 1 Dylan Mike.
Yep.
Which means it's time to throw it over to the casters to get their vote on what's happening for this FUT Champions Cup quarterfinals presented by PlayStation 4. Guys, how are you?
Very well, Jimmy.
Brandon, I think you're just on the couch. Where'd you go?
I'm sorry, man. I enjoyed being on the couch, but Richard asked me to come back, so I thought I'd just join him on the commentary desk.
That's nice. You too. So sweet.
But I think coming into this game, I've got to stick with Dylan Mike. You know, I've hyped up this guy so much. 16 years of age, coming out again. I'll say it again, this German scene that's so tough to get recognised. He's come out, he's got recognised, recently got signed by an organisation, Richard. So for me, I'm going Dylan Mike.
I'm going to have to go to South America as Spencer comes into the shot there. What a beautiful man. But I'm joining him. I fancy a little bit of Vinny. I think he's going to do the business, and I think NSE Vinny will be picking up 625 Global Series ranking points.
I'm not sure if I'm happy that Richard agrees with me or if I'm not.
That's the first time I think he ever has.
I'm 5-1, Jimmy.
All right. I'll take it. All right. Have a good call of the game, guys.
Cheers, Jimmy. And, you know, I'm surprised you've gone for Vinny there because, don't get me wrong, he's come into this tournament. He's 213th in those rankings. So this is his first ever event. And he's, again, out of all the Brazilians, I think he's maybe one of the only ones left in the competition other than Filza. However, we jump into this game now. To be honest, I thought Danny Sousa was going to be voted by the fans. I thought you guys at home would have wanted to see Danny Sousa. Obviously, 2 players that have been in the FIFA scene slightly longer. However, fresh prospects coming through. Dylan Mike, 16 years of age. It was F2 Tex or DH Tex last time this weekend. Who was...
And it's South America that always come up. I feel like in these votes, Brazil, Argentina, they always seem to come up trumps in the public votes. It's a bit. It's like Arsenal fans on Twitter when they do a public vote online for like goal of the month or goal of the year. Arsenal always seem to get a good amount of votes. So I think it is a little bit of that. But we're in for a great game right now between 2 unbelievable prospects in the FIFA scene, and looks like it's going to be Dylan Mike, the more aggressive of the start here.
He just kicks it off. Fantastic save from Thibaut Courtois. But to give you a bit of a breakdown on both of these two, they came through Swiss-style format. There we go. First chance of the game again. He's hit the upright. I wonder why he scored goals. He's got a penalty. No.
Free kick.
He's got a free kick. Calm down, Brandon. They both went 3-2 in Swiss-style formats. Obviously 3 wins, 2 losses there. And then you've come through to today. Dylan's played against Gorilla and he's beaten him by a huge scoreline there. And then obviously Vinny's played against Dylan. Or Dylan, sorry, from Canada. Beat him 3-2 in what was an enthralling game. So for these two to be up against each other, I think they're potentially doing slightly better than they thought they could have been. Dylan last weekend went 3-0 in Swiss-style format. So to be honest, he is a player that's got a lot of confidence. This is Vinny's first tournament, and we've said it before. If it's your first event, this is your first major of the year, you need to be playing well because points aren't just going to fall at your feet.
I'd say they're definitely doing better than they expected at this point. Dylan Mike had a great Swiss last week, went 3-0. Got the ability to go home, rest up, came back the day after and got knocked out in the first knockout game of the tournament. So his knockout football this year hasn't been fantastic. Vinny, on the other hand, got a clean slate. Can he start the year 2019 on FIFA 19 with a good performance?
As you said, whoever wins this game will jump through and pick up 625 Global Series ranking points, which would be a huge amount for Vinny. Bear in mind, he's only got 89 to his name. Really poor pass there, and that's been a great start from Dullen. You know, when you look at a player that's so young, you know, as you know, 16 is the minimum age to compete in competitive FIFA. Is it a factor of just being a slightly fearless as well? Because you can go two ways. You can be nervous or you can be fearless.
Well, I mean, if he was Elite 3 last year, and it just shows how quickly you can improve in a calendar year. And sometimes the game changes every year. New things are implemented, new mechanics. Sometimes something just clicks for you, and the game is just yours. Like, for example, this year, I think Tex, he's found his groove. He's found his year. Last year with FIFA 18 in Barcelona, it was fantastic. But with that new kid on the block, with that unknown prospect. And then once people started to figure him out, he didn't have the success that we've seen him have this year, where he just seems to be on fire. It literally seems to be a little bit better than everybody else.
Should have going to win that header as well. Ronaldo can leap up. No, Courtois will head that one, and it's going to be another chance headed again. It's been non-stop pressure from Dullen. As we know, recently picked up by SK Game and then playing in the virtual Bundesliga FC. Oh, obviously under FC Cologne. Now with Pri, I believe, the player there, and obviously Miza. You look at the legends of the Benedikt Salzels that have been around for so long in the German scene, and you got a youngster coming through the ranks doing so well at the same time.
Yeah, both playing at the exact same time as well on that stage together. The legend of the German FIFA scene in Benedikt Salzar and the up-and-coming young prospect in Dullen Mike. 11 years between them. Dullen Mike 16,
this is the stage,
Salzar 27.
This is the stage that Dullen needs, though, Richard, because he hasn't really, you know, the LQE, he did well in that. Obviously went out to Tim Latka, a fellow German player there. You could say one of the legends in the scene, and well, maybe the tables are turned. Vinny out of nowhere with his first attack of the game. Even caught us off surprise, played it inside, kind of just drilled it against the post, somehow got that pass away. Courtois, I didn't know if he was going to go with his legs or his hands, but kind of just fell on the floor in the end.
Yeah, in off the post, no chance of saving that one. A little bit against the run of play. NSE, Vinny takes the lead 30 minutes into this game.
The point I was trying to say is that he did well in the LQE, but sometimes you need to be seen at a major. You need to be seen where there's an event with slightly more viewers there, so you can get hyped up, so you can get that extra following on social media. He's going to be replying straight away. Is he? Oh, sure, that's the goal of Messi. Goes the other way as well. That took, what, about a minute to come back down the other end and score?
Yeah, did get quite fortunate with how the ball bounced back to him there, but he made no mistake when it came into his feet right here. You see, he takes the finesse shot. It bounces back into Messi's path and slots it into that top left corner. We've seen over the years, while we've been doing this FIFA commentary, Brandon, that we sometimes see Brazilians just sort of turn up when they need to in certain competitions. I'm thinking back the FIFA 17 FIWC qualifiers. Zazinho, new kid on the block. He took his mum to the event, and that was his first ever FIFA event. He got all the way to the final and clutched up and won his knockout game.
I think as well, Dullen's mum's here as well. I've seen her supporting him throughout the few days here, and it's great to see, obviously.
Tour, SPQR Tour, when he was back in London. Just great performances, and then Bucharest as well, now signed to Ajax. It seems as though every single tournament we seem to have another Brazilian or another South American player just bursting onto the scene. Iago this year, Tor, Vinny now, Resende.
And as this esport will get bigger, more players will just suddenly start falling through. And it's great that these tournaments will be hosting 64 players from all around the world. We can see the names like that, as you mentioned, Richard. 22 different nations arrived yesterday. One of the biggest kind of events where we've seen so many different nations from all over the world, where this esports is really starting to go global. Here's a chance now. This is Vinny now, a fake shot or two. Going to win a corner, though. This is good pressure, though, from the Brazilian. And that red strip. Maybe going to play short. If not, just watch how he's going to probably control someone in that box. Ramos has been controlled as well. Didn't need to. Courtois will punch out instead, but this attack isn't over. Marcelo played inside to Messi. Back now to Eusebio. He's going to try and just twist and Put that one in the bottom corner. Will be another corner. The pressure doesn't stop for Dolomite. Yes, he scored straight away after, but he has to deal with all this pressure first. Plays short to Eusebio. Back out on the edge once again. This is N'Golo Kante with the finesse.
Corner after corner after corner here for Vinny. I like it as well. Different corners. Not becoming too readable, not becoming too mundane. Mixing it up every single time. Went short, played into the front post, played to the edge of the box.
Corners at speed as well. He wasn't just waiting, he was just whipping them straight into the box, playing it short, then playing out to the edge of the box, trying to be different, be unpredictable is what you exactly need to be. Added time of 3 minutes. Are we done, referee? Yes, we are. 1.5 time between the two. And it was an opening goal that came out of nowhere for NSC and Vinny. Straight down the other end, it was Dolomite that replied.
Yeah, Dolomite with a good bounce back from this game. He shows that even though he is only 16 years of age, he has got that sort of resiliency in his game. He didn't let his head drop. He knew that he could get straight back into the game, and that's exactly what he did in this first half.
You can see him, both players there on your screen there. Picture them earlier, a few days ago, I should say, on the media day. Obviously, SK game in there. Obviously, a kit that is in the game of FIFA, and you can see the badge at FC Cologne. The team he does represent in the virtual Bundesliga. And you've got Netshoes Esports, the likes of Spider Kong used to play for them. I'm sure you remember that guy, familiar face in the Brazilian scene. Fortunately not at this tournament though, but was it the last major?
Yep.
Here in Bucharest, the first one of the year. And of course, other games taking place. As we know right now on the Xbox side, that game, Salzor up against Ajax Dani. A battle of the football clubs, you have to say. This is Dolomite though. Messi all the way across the free header! And you could say a free gift of a goal as well. Lit up Kylian Mbappe. So much space as well. It's going to be in the show of Ronaldo normally, but Mbappe this weekend has been just leaping up above the rest time and time again.
Yeah, good header as well. Downwards header from Mbappe. He timed it green as well, did Dolomite. Messi with a beautiful ball into the blocks, just curled it in onto the head of Mbappe, and he's making no mistake from 8 yards out. Reclaims the lead, 2-1. Does the young German.
Now it's Vinny's to come back and play for. Still got another 90 minutes though, still got ages left in this half. The start that Dylan really would have wanted. Back down the other end straight away, went for a fake shot there to try and get past Rafa Varane, but he stood strong and said, no thank you, not this time. Just looking down the bracket here, it should have, you know, German players left in the competition. We got 2 over, or 3 I should say, over on the PlayStation side. On the Xbox side, we've only got 2 left, depending on how this result goes. Straight down the other end again. Vinny head down in hands moment because the keeper was moved slightly and it was just a gaping goal.
Yeah, he knows he made a mistake there, doesn't he? He moved the goalkeeper over to the left-hand side to cover the finesse shot, and Dolomite saw that and just rifled it in to the bottom left corner. Nice timed finish. You can see the formation there from Vinny. 4-2-3-1, second variation. The main difference being that left mid and right mid, they sit a little bit deeper than in the 4-2-3-1 regular formation with the left cam and right cam.
As we know, a very familiar formation that we used to see with the 4-2-3-1, always being used in competitive FIFA. You can see it just waiting to see if there's been any changes made by his opponent Dulan there, just looking at Vinny saying, are you changing your formation? Are you changing up at all because you're 2 goals down?
Just look at the keeper movement. He moves pretty much to the middle of the goal and just gives him all that space
no
to
matter
hit
how.
into. He actually moves backwards. If you move it backwards, you see your goalkeeper make a few better saves now and again. But on that occasion, Ruud Gullit firing Dolomite into a 2-goal lead.
No matter how much you move Thibaut Courtois, if you move him too far away, even how tall he is, he's still not going to get that one on target. I thought that was going to nestle the top-hand corner. Vinny did as well, outside the boot of Cristiano Ronaldo. 99 finishing for a reason, and that one just whiskers wide. Vieira. A play out to Ramos, who's slotted himself in at right back and has done the same for a few teams this weekend. It's the player that everyone seems that they can't pass up. of the in-game stats that he does possess in that Team of the Year. Neymar on the edge of the box. That was time green. Attack not over yet, though. Taking with Messi instead. I looked for a minute that Courtois was going to let that one go.
Yeah, just quite a weak finesse there in the end, but Courtois made a meal of it.
This is for a place, remember, in the last 4 of your console. Jumping up, as you said, to 625 Global Series points. And edging closer and closer to the console final, then, of course, the cross-console final. Semi-finals and all that action taking place tomorrow on Championship Sunday here in Bucharest.
Well, the final 8 players, the best 8 players over the course of the weekend competing for $50,000 and 1,500 Global Series ranking points.
Which, as we said, points for Vinny would be huge. You look at the points that Dylan's on at the moment. I think he's on about 518 points as he comes forward now once again with Mbappe, who's already scored 1 goal today. Dispossessed, though. It's crazy to think that the point difference between the two at this stage in the season. Dylan's already on 518. As you can see, he's waiting for that pause. This is so big for Vinny because we don't know what else he's qualified for this year.
Well, I think what's even crazier to think is there's roughly about 200 spots between the 2 players and only 500 points, which it's a lot of points, but that's maybe a quarter-final here and there, a semi-final here and there. One semi-final and you threw that point total is completely vanished.
Oh, this is so good. Doesn't matter if he's waiting for a pause. Dylan might whip it back over. Doesn't want to. Instead it goes to Mbappe. I think he rushed his chance. But back to that point you mentioned, with the LQEs, you'd have to at least get to the last 4 on your console, but out of the 16 that arrive at the LQE to get that kind of point total. So we mentioned it doesn't sound like that many points, 500 points or 400 points more, but it is a lot. Even if you go out in Swiss-style format in a tournament like this, you only get 100 and so.
But Dolomite will extend his point total at least by 450 in the rankings.
Which is going to be fantastic. We said he's pretty much there anyway for a playoff spot. He adds an extra few hundred as well. He's going to move slowly towards those playoffs, and then if he can ensure he gets some more points as well via the qualification tournaments that are on display. There's obviously we've still got 3 FUT Champions Cups to come over the next few months. We'll see next month, the month after, and obviously finishing in April for that. And then obviously we've got the likes of the Champions League, all these tournaments. There's so much FIFA still to see.
R9, Eusebio and Pele, I think, coming on for Dylan Mike right there.
Well, if he wasn't attacking already, he's already scored 3 goals. You wouldn't mind a few more. And there comes the finesse. It's going to go out for a corner.
I think he knows he can extend the lead right now. Vinny's throwing a lot of bodies forward. Good
straight in there.
Yeah. Whipped into that front post. That's where Mbappe or Ronaldo can do the damage. And
he wasn't attacking already. He's already scored 3 goals.
Constantly checking it. So what Vinny's done is switched from 4-2-3-1 regular to 4-2-3-1. 4-2-3-1 second variation to the regular 4-2-3-1. Has the Brazilian.
And I think, if anything, Dylan's so disappointed to concede that because he was controlling Ramos. We'll see it again on the replay. He controlled Ramos and still lost the aerial battle still. I think that's why he's disappointed. He's jumped into a pause straight away. You can see the corner again. I was expecting Ramos to win it any day, but he got sandwiched. It was Mbappe between Varane and Sergio Ramos, and Mbappe is still winning that battle.
Just in the right place at the right time, and when you're that close from the goal, all you need to do is make contact on the ball. That's exactly what Mbappe
set himself
did.
up for a fantastic last 10 minutes as well, Richard. If he can get himself another goal back, it's been a game that's kind of confused me more than anything, because 1 minute I'm looking at Dylan being so confident, expressing himself in the way he's playing. He's had a few great chances. And all that Vinny needs is 1 or 2 chances. He can be straight back in this game.
Even though he's leading 3 goals to 2, he still looks a little bit nervous. I think that probably because of his age. I think he's not had much experience.
It's his first year of LAN experience for such a young player. You look how a year of LAN experience helped F2 Techs now. You know, he's still in this competition. After going 5-0 as well. We will get 1 more chance, Vinny. Oh, no,
just a little bit heavy.
Just rushed that ball, went all the way through to Courtois in the end. If you have been watching all the action all day, we're into the last hurdle. See, these 2 quarterfinals, and we've got the Xbox quarterfinals to finish with. Dullum can open up a bit of breathing space with 2 goals here. Pele all the way across. Oh, no!
That was a chance. And he leans back in his chair. He knows that was the chance to extend that goal lead. 2-2.
One man you'd always put your money on, wouldn't you? Cristiano Ronaldo. From that close as well. I think it's because he hit it outside the boot. I don't know why he performed that mechanic instead of just with a basic inside the boot finesse. Maybe he already pre-planned the shot, and
that's nice.
Well, Ronaldo could be making up for those areas. It goes across once again. It doesn't matter now. It really, really doesn't matter. From Ronaldo missing down one end to crossing it back in again for Pele to leap up this time.
Yeah, all started with Dolomite down that side with Ronaldo. Couple of big fake shots down the left-hand side, dink to the back post. And a lovely green timed header. All his finishers have been greened. Dolomite's got his GCSEs in timed finishing.
Seems like as well it's just been the battle of the aerial show. Honestly, there's been quite a few headers in this game. From corners, from set pieces, and that's how leg one's going to finish. Dolomite could take a breather. He's 2 goals up, 4 goals to 2. And I'm sure both players will just be going outside for a breather now in that one. But Vinny, you gave it what you got there. Still 2 goals behind Richard. How did you see that one?
Yeah, it was just a game of missed chances and missed opportunities and then taking chances. That's exactly what young Dolomite did do. A couple of back post crosses, and that could be the difference in the end. Interested. So I've just heard that Ajax Dani and Salzor is currently 1 goal apiece, 1-1 after the first leg. So you've got one game which is 4-2, slightly going in favour of one of the players in Dolomite. The other game between the 2 more experienced pros, 1-1, very cagey affair on that side.
Exactly that, Richard, of course. And then we'll have 2 more games to round up day 2 here in Bucharest for the FUT Champions Cup. But, you know, the game in focus, of course, is this game between Dolomite, 16 years of age. We'll say it again and again and again. I'll probably make it on the internet again for referencing the man's age. And he's up against, as we said, NSE Vili. Again, a Brazilian player. Kind of scraped his way through in that last game. It was still a great performance from the man. Don't get me wrong. He won 3 goals to 2. But this is more important for Vinny. Because if you look at Mike, whatever he finishes with now, he's guaranteed playoffs. We have to say he's guaranteed playoffs.
Oh, 100%.
If Vinny can get this through, he's looking towards just over 700 points, which that is playoffs.
Yeah, in my opinion, I think it's about 600, 625 points to get into the playoffs, to get into the top region of players that you have to be in to even be valid to enter the playoffs. I think it's about 600, 625, 650. So if you're getting 625 for getting top 4 at a major, with Weekend League, you're looking at 700, 710. That will put you through into the playoffs, and you'll be eligible to play. For Vinny, what's he sat on currently? I think it's like 90 points at the minute, plus the 450 that he's already got if he gets eliminated from this stage. Add that onto Weekend League, it'll be really tight.
It's going to be a grind, nevertheless.
If he wins this game and turns this game around, gets 625, I think he's guaranteed playoffs.
Well, he knows he can score goals. He scored 2 goals in that game compared to Dullen's 4, which, you know, we questioned at times. Dullen, he's still so new to competitive FIFA. Don't get me wrong, he's had a few LAN experience tournaments already. He went 3-0 in Swiss-style format, seems so confident, seems so up for it. Comes into the next day, lost to Tim Latka in the first game.
Yeah,
but then will he learn from that? That's what
we're looking at right now, and he learned from it. He beat Gorilla in his first game today, which is not an easy feat, and he beat Gorilla by a little bit of a decent goal margin as well. I think it's safe to say. If you are watching Gorilla, happy birthday! I've just seen it. It was your birthday today, so happy birthday for that, and hopefully this weekend's results haven't dampened the big day too much, but Dolomite did go through into that quarter-final, and right now we're seeing quite I'd say mature performance. It sounds quite weird to say that about a 16-year-old, but just the way that he's playing FIFA, he's taking the easy chances as they come in, he's not overcomplicating anything, he's playing for the 90-95% chances, like the one he had with Ronaldo then. A few players might try and cut inside. If I'm 16 years old, I'm 3-2 up in the 90th minute, I might try and get a little bit flashy, maybe try and do a spin inside, a Berber spin, a Magidi spin, an El Tornado. He took it down the line with 2 fake shots, got past his man, and dinked across into the back post. That shows maturity in his FIFA ability, and there's a reason he's leading 4 goals to 2.
It makes him look so fearless as well, as we said. In the other game between the 2 football clubs, of course, with both FIFA players there. Benedict Salzor 1-1 against Ajax Danny. Obviously coming into that game just in front of me here, they both took out big names in the competition. Danny beat MS Dasari on penalties. Of course, that one finished 8-6, including all the goals there. And obviously, it was a 5-3 win as well for Salzor over Goal Machine. But this is what they're all playing for. You can kind of see there, a few names engraved there. Between all the tournaments that we've had so far, Tex's name will be in there.
There's only 3 people who's lifted it. Tex, Dasari, and Rocky. They're the 3 who have held that trophy high. Tex on 2 separate occasions, MS Dasari on 2 separate occasions, and Vitality Rocky when he was at Vitality all that time ago.
Funny story
Coming
as well.
up on 2 years ago.
It's actually Rocky's birthday as well today, so happy birthday,
Happy birthday, Rocky,
to PSG
as well.
Rocky. There's been so many like FIFA player birthdays today. But he was one of the players that lifted that trophy, and you know that's what everybody wants to do at the end of the day. Of course, there's fantastic prize money up for grabs. There's $50,000. There's 1,500 global series ranking points. But at the end of the day, you can't take that name out. That name is there. It's you know it's in writing.
It's engraved, and it's going to be on forever.
It's never going to change, no matter if you quit competitive FIFA in 2 years' time. You're not playing at the level you knew you could. Your name will always be in that trophy.
Yeah, Rocky's name will forever be on the FUT Champions Cups. Dasari and Tex will be the first ever 2-time winner of a FUT Champions Cup. Dasari matching him.
And he'll be the youngest winner for a very long time as well.
Unless Dylan Mike, I'm not sure actually about on the dates. Both 16 players both 16 years of age when they did win.
Could you imagine the story headlines a year ago this weekend for Dylan Mike to go and
16, yep, fantastic.
Win a major? You just can't imagine. The difference is obviously Dylan's now signed to SK Game, and they saw a lot of potential in him before we really saw what DH Tech was about before he moved, of course, to the F2, and the rest was history. A year on now, he's still in the competition. Of course, those games taking place tomorrow. However, we've still got a 90 minutes of FIFA time left. This could be a great start. Yes, it is for Dylan. Forget the 2-goal advantage. Now it's 3. Messi outside the boot. 6 minutes into it.
What a start from Dylan Mike.
How's he got that much space?
Yeah, you're asking questions. And again, the goalkeeper movement. If he doesn't move in there, there's a good chance that he saves that goal in decent fashion as well. But because he's moving him, Messi hits it high. 6 minutes in and extends his lead to 3.
Can't really find a worse start to a game than that for Vinny. What has happened there for the man? But what a start from Dylan Mike again. 5-2 up. Of course, we'll keep you up to date on the other games that are taking place. We might even jump over to one shortly, depending on how this goes. But if Dylan runs away with it, and if he continues to have a fantastic start here, Richard, he could be 4 goals up with the opening 20 in-game minutes here. He's on the attack again. Ronaldo tried to play a cheeky pass through to Neymar, but not on this occasion.
Yeah, Vinny just looks a little bit bewildered right now. He looks a little bit lost. Does the Brazilian. He seems like he's sort of getting just drowned at the minute by Dylan Mike.
It's the worst possible start as well. When you go and concede straight away.
It completely ruins your mentality, ruins your... If you had a game plan coming into the second leg, that's just thrown out the window right now.
Straight away, went for a time finesse. Keeper's side, though, easy for him to collect. But those like 5-10 minutes of that small break that we just saw there, they got a few words of wisdom to say, right, go into this game with this attitude. Best possible way you could have done that, Dylan, is score straight away. It's not any confidence.
It looks relentless right now, does Dylan Mike, looking for Mbappe.
Oh, he's in space as well. Kylian Mbappe is going to go for a finesse, but if you just watch how he can just pivot on the ball so quickly. He's making Vinny guess. Where's that ball going? Is he holding it up? Is he trying to bring other players into possession? We'll highlight it a little bit more when he attacks again, but it's really the small things that these players can do that makes them so good.
Mbappe looks so good in the air. He's getting to like Ronaldo levels in the air. Jumping, he wins pretty much everything.
Played right back occasionally yesterday.
Yep.
And the stats as well that he does possess. So good from the Frenchman. Again, such a young player. You know, you can't imagine how many more years in the game we're going to have him if he continues to compete at the high level he is. Seems all Dolomite, though, at this moment in time. 3 goals up he is. Play it through if he can. Will it be worse? Yes, it will. Make that 4 goals in front. 6-2 on aggregate. Vinny has to scratch his head and think, right, how am I getting back into this one?
Yeah, and he's caught cue to pause right there. 6 goals to 2. We are going to jump over to Salzor versus Danny, as that game does look a little bit wrapped up. And I think I'm just hearing in my headset a goal from Cristiano Ronaldo. And it is Ajax Danny taking the lead 2-1.
It's a shame, obviously, Dylan didn't go and score then. We might have joined that one and saw the goal that Ronaldo did score. But this game's a bit more contested. Only at 2-1, you've got a player that's been in this scene for ages and ages and ages. One of the first players to sign for a professional football club as a FIFA esporter, as they call it out in Germany. He's on the attack now as well. Could we see an equaliser from that man?
Just
offside anyway, but Ajax Danny, what a story. He's done so well. Coming into that game against MS Desire, we said, has he got a plan? MS Desire was playing so well. Bearing in mind, he wasn't feeling too good. Had to go to penalties. It was an incredible game between the two.
I even spoke to Danny after that game. I said, Danny, what are your thoughts coming out of the back of it? He said, he might be ill, but he still played amazing.
But that's respect as well.
Yeah. He said, don't let anyone take anything away from me. He might have been ill, but I still had to match him because he is one of the best players in the world at FIFA. And he was very, very pleased with his performance. And it looks like he's riding this wave of confidence right now. Does Danny, which we've seen in the past, when he does get confident and he does get playing.
You don't want to get near Danny when he's
tough to stop.
The way I look at Ajax Danny, though, in the last few years, he's changed the way he's played. I think first and foremost, he's matured as a FIFA player, which there's probably people listening and going, how can you mature as a FIFA player? The way you manage games as such, slowing it down when you need to, keeping possession when you need to, and that's all down to the help of his coach that he got involved with ECV Esports. Got Coach Bass involved and just basically said to Danny, keep the ball when you need to. There's no panic to rush, because before Danny had a coach, it was always attack, attack, attack. He loved scoring goals, and that was always a play style of him to outscore his opponent. He changed that slightly, was more of a possession-based play, tried to break through there with Cristiano Ronaldo, but not working that time.
And we saw this transition on training day, a weekly show that Ajax were doing, the players at Ajax Esports, and this was basically over 10, 12 weeks. They were inviting other football clubs, other esports orgs on, and having real serious games, best of 3s, best of 5s against each other. And we got to see this sort of transition from Ajax Danny, from the goal scoring, attacking, aggressive player to this more defensive, conserved, mature FIFA ability. And since then, he's picked up 2 Eredivisie titles.
Signed a 3-year deal with Ajax, one of the longest deals we've seen in competitive FIFA.
He's been fantastic in major competitions, grand final back-to-back years. Playoffs top 4.
He's going to be on the attack there again, tried to find a way through Neymar. But speaking of his opponent now, which again deserves still so much credit as well. 27 years of age now is Benedict Salzo. He's been involved in the competitive scene for so long as well. He whips that one in. Is anyone going to be there for it? No, we didn't get to change player to the one he wanted to.
I think he wanted to switch onto R9 by the look of it and wasn't able to at the last second.
Of course, on the rankings coming into this one as well, the slight difference in both of these two. It's a top 10 placing at this moment in time for Danny. Over for Salzo, he needs to try and rank up. Quite a few more points for him. Just looking here in front of me, obviously Danny's 7th at the moment on the Xbox rankings. And 22nd for Benedict Salzo at the moment. You can see the stats there, you know, with no shots on target, no shots registered at all for the German.
We've seen this formation again from Danny, the same formation that he played against Desari to get back into the game. 4-3-3, 4th variation. He plays that centre attacking mid. I imagine on the 2 centre mids, he's probably got stay back, so they sort of drop in a little bit like a 4-2-3-1, but his 2 wingers really stay high. They pin the players back. We've seen that he's trying, and it successfully sets up this finesse shot time and time again. Neymar, Ronaldo, Mbappe. That's what he's trying to set up. That's how he's found that he has the most success with this shot, and that's what he's trying to do. You play to win the game. You look for the most effective tactic available. That's what meta means, and that's what Danny's trying to do.
You saw some of the spectacular goals he scored as well. One of them was with Cristiano Ronaldo. slightly earlier today against MS Desari, but there's still 45 in-game minutes separating this one. It's still so tight as well. Here's Benedikt Salzer, hasn't actually registered a shot yet in this game. Of course, did score in the last one though, so we know he can score. And to get through this stage in the competition, he's beat Goal Machine on the way through. Let's remember that as well.
6 goals to 4 as well. He beat Goal Machine. I believe it was a close game in the first leg, and then that second leg, quite a dominant performance from the German.
We go back a weekend. Obviously, Goal Machine played against Resende in the Xbox final down in
top
London.
2.
So, you know, how a week can change. We always say how 24 hours can change compared to FIFA. How a week can change, a month, a year, with results in tournaments. And these points are so important for Salzer as well. Danny's already kind of firmly in that top 10 at the moment. These points here will just slowly move Benedikt higher and maybe closer to that top 10. As we say, whoever goes through this game will pick up 625 points, whatever happens tomorrow.
Nice switch of play there from Danny, just looking to turn the pace down of this game, take the spark out.
Well, a goal
for
will do that.
Salzer. Another goal, just keeping possession for 10-15 minutes.
Building into the game, a finesse straight away. We thought it was in. He was off his seat.
He thought it was in. He was celebrating right there with Danny.
He thought that was flying into the back of the net.
Timed it green. Looking for that top left corner. I like this from Salzer, playing out from the back. Really nice bit of play there from Salzer.
I think if anything, he was just trying to take a moment to have a breather there, and he's paused it as well. Clearly something not working for him. Mbappe there. Ramos somehow got something on that just to deflect the pass back to his own man. Now it's going to be Danny on the attack, and possession switch once again between the two. He's waiting for that pause. Is Salzer. He's got space as well with Neymar. Can he take the keeper on? Just chipped it up. And again, he's got away with that. Kind of just pushed back onto the ball by the defender, saying, thank you very much. I've got an open goal. And now we're all square again.
How on earth has that gone in? It looked like he squandered the opportunity.
I don't know what he was doing. He kind of just chipped it up with his right foot.
I thought he was going to play a square pass. I thought that was the pass that was on. I didn't actually see Neymar going through. I thought he was going to play the left side. I thought that was the better pass, but Neymar in the end, latching onto a loose pass, putting Salzer into a tied position right now. Is it going to be another penalty shootout for Ajax, Danny? 4-2-3-1. Kante, Eusebio, and Ronaldinho. All 3 substitutes at the same time for Salzer.
See there as well on the bench, likes of Van Dijk, Kevin De Bruyne. I don't know if he can. I don't know if you saw anything down from there, but he's made the changes he needs to, and they're not bad changes, are they? The ones we used to be seeing in the competitive structure at this moment in time.
He flicked it up, and then he got pushed off the ball by Marcelo into the ball.
It's like the fellow Brazilian was helping him out there, and basically what happened there, Courtois got tackled by the centre-half of I think it might have been either Varane or Ramos, I'm not too sure.
I think it was Maldini coming across. Maldini.
It was just a big tangle in the end, and somehow he's been given a lifeline to Salzer. That was his first shot. I think he's registered.
You only need one shot. Dua Lipa says one kiss is all it takes. Salzer, one shot is all it takes.
Let's put that one all square again. At 2-2. Maldini. The man who was involved in that huge coming together. Gifting Neymar a goal way back into this game for Salzer, and we're slowly edging towards the latter stages in this one. If we need extra time, we'll go to it. Don't you worry, and if we need to go to penalties, I'm sure we'll go through that as well. Building into the attack is Danny.
Look for R9.
Look for that same finish out wide. He'll try and bounce it up and glide it into the goal again. There's Ronaldo. A ball roll or two. Back to Hull. I don't think he's going to be having a shot heel to heel there. Happy to keep possession. This is so good from Danny. Not phasing him at all. He can keep possession. He's looking for that area again. He's got Mbappe there. Fake to go back. Plays it aside. This is going to be Vieira now. He won't be having a shot. It will be Mbappe instead, and that's gone right into row E. I'm going to go for on that.
Yeah, rash from Danny there. I think he was just getting a little bit impatient, trying to set up the finesse shot there. Rushed it in the end with Mbappe. Salzar's going to come forward because Ronaldo's always going to win that.
That's why he's in your team, always an outlet, a man that can finish, step up to the plate when he needs to. Slightly rushed there by Salz. Now possession falls straight back to Danny again. I can just see Salz not really getting much of the ball. So when he does get it, you have to keep it, Salzor. You have to make something of it. This is what I said about Danny being a different kind of FIFA player in the last 12 to 14 months. And he's matured as a player, happy to keep possession when he needs to. Doesn't score maybe as many goals as we're used to seeing from him.
But he's scoring big goals. He's scoring winning goals. Had to go to a penalty shootout to beat the world champion MS Dasari.
He's got that space again. Oh, he didn't fall to the foot he wanted to. It doesn't matter, though. It's R9. Has he been fouled? Oh, he hasn't.
Could have been a penalty right there. He was reluctant to shoot or cross it into the box. He wanted to play back onto the edge.
I think he wanted it on his left foot originally, but it just fell onto the right one instead. He'll try and find it again, probably. Instead, he's gone with Hullet. Actually, nearly scored a big goal for him in the last round, I believe, against MS Dasari, a fellow Dutchman, nearly stepping up for him. Lovely threaded free ball down the line now.
Yeah, Ronaldinho, you just saw him get away from Maldini, and he's going to continue to get away from Maldini.
He's going to whip it across. He's got a leap as well. To the edge of the box, N'Golo Kante, can he be the hero? Centre-half just dived in front of that one, said no. Better from Salz. We know that's the way you can try and create a chance. He's got people in the box that can leap up down the line. Whip it into the box. And we've seen him do that time and time again.
I think it's a little bit too early for Danny to prioritise the 90th minute right now and try and get that final chance. But that's what he could be doing.
If I know what we're talking about there, basically, you keep the ball until you need to let go of it. And we're just hearing through our ear as well that Dylan Mike, bearing in mind he was 4 goals up, he's actually just conceded 3. He's 6-5 up still, hanging in there. If he goes and concedes that now, he's still such a young player and he hasn't had all that experience in the tournament. Richard, if he goes and concedes that after, we'll talk about after this corner comes in. This is one hell of a chance for Salz. Oh, Ronaldo jumps up, but the corner again. We'll come on to the Dolomite game in a second. In it goes again. David De Gea, can you collect that one? Yes, you can. But Vinny, he's pulled back 3 goals, Richard.
Yeah, I didn't know if Danny were going to force a quick outlet there from David De Gea, but he takes his time. Oh, he's gave it away. Salz's going to get the last chance of this game.
Oh, no, this could be one hell of an end into this. Oh, I don't know why Ronaldinho didn't actually blink onto that one originally. I think we're going to extra time,
Another
Richard.
extra time. Ajax, Danny, match. And as you were saying, Brandon, repeat it again. Dylan Mike is now 3 goals down. Is that correct?
No. He's still in front, but he's conceded 3 goals. He was 6-2 up. Don't worry. He was 6-2 up, conceded 3. Now he's 6-5 up, so he's just about hanging in there. So it was more of the question of what turnaround this could be from Vinny.
So he's conceded 3 goals.
Conceded 3 goals. Needs 1 goal to take that to extra time.
Wow. 2 clutch quarter-finals going on right now, and that's the 71st minute, so there's plenty of FIFA left to be played over there. But we're going to focus on this game. This is the game in focus right now. Extra time needed, yet again, for Ajax Danny.
Extra time. Here we go then. 30 more in-game minutes. I've lost count of the games that have gone to extra time today. Some have even gone to penalties for us. If you go back around, this isn't phasing Danny. He's been here before. But I'm sure Benedikt Salz has been here in so many competitions he's played in. German championships, FRWC, FEWC, whatever the tournament. Benedikt Salz, I can tell you, has probably had a cap at each one of them. Had such a good chance at the end there. 2 corners in a row. I thought the first one was going to go in for Salzor.
He actually timed it green as well.
Well, here's Ronaldo. He's actually outside the box for Danny, if you didn't know already. He's whipped it in. Who's there to win that one? Ramos.
Good defensive header. Ramos leaping up.
And after these 2 games, we'll finish the day with the PlayStation quarterfinals. The last 2 there. Lost in the waves up against Fifilza. Then Stefano Pin up against Bayer Leverkusen Marv. Here we go. This is Benedikt Salzar, cuts inside. This is Mbappe. Went for a finesse. Just took the sting out of the ball there. Did the defender for Danny.
Yeah, we've seen that a few times. People expecting that cross into the back post, and then they just slowly start getting closer and closer and creeping towards goal. Throw in a La Croquette, throw in a couple of skill moves. You can get a finesse shot away with an Mbappe, with a Neymar from inside the box.
You just start to deceive your opponent as well. Vieira. This is Eusebio. He's going to play to Kante now. Just, you know what's coming from Danny. He knows what he wants. Round the edge of the box somewhere. Look for a finesse if he wants it. There's that finesse, and there's the goal. Eusebio this time stepping up. We knew it was coming. It was just who was going to take the finish, who was going to take the plunge.
Could that be the goal to send Ajax Dani into the semi-finals? 625 Global Series ranking points could be going the Dutchman's way. He's the flying Dutchman right now. Ajax Dani.
Of course, Lev Vinkany went out in Swiss style form. Yes, I'm sure he'll be supporting his ex-teammate and fellow countryman there. And just looking down here at the prize money, the point breakdown there. You go through to tomorrow, you're guaranteed at least $7,500 as well, just for getting through to tomorrow. Whether you lose there, if you go through again, you know, we'll talk about that all tomorrow, but 625 Global Series ranking points is the big talking point. And you're just jumping into a bit more prize pot now, aren't you?
Before he's even thinking about the extra points, the extra money. He's got 10, 15 minutes left to defend. And it's going to be Salazar coming forward. I think that's balanced, width, depth, all going forward. He's got 10, 15.
This is it now, Salazar. You got roughly 18 minutes left. You got a few minutes in this first half still.
Switching
Can it be
4-2-2 as well.
We shall see. Strap yourselves in, people. We've still got loads of competitive FIFA left.
And that's why Danny likes to have his 5-star weak foot players on the pitch towards his back end of the game. He likes to. He's only just stopped using Cruyff. He likes Eusebio. He likes Hullit. He likes Neymar. These players who can finesse. That's his main strength. Danny, that's how he's winning a lot of these games, because he's mastered a craft in the game.
We just heard there as well, we were worried for Dylan, but he held in right until the end. Dylan Mike, 6-5 win. And he'll be waiting for one of these two tomorrow. So it could be an all-German game if Salazar gets through. Here we go. Here's Benedict Salazar. Ronaldinho, where's he going to go? To the edge of the box. Lovely turn, Ronaldo.
Good keeper movement.
Met with the save of David De Gea.
Really good keeper movement. Salazar seemed to hit it straight at him, but that was Danny moving him to the left.
The pressure's not over, though. Ronaldo to Hullit. Saved again.
And that's going to take us into half-time. Seems as though Salazar gets a couple of chances just before the whistle does go. He had 2 corners on the stroke of the 90th minute. He's had 2 great chances there on the stroke of the 105th minute. And he's got 15 more minutes to get back into this game and force a penalty shootout. You see the possession there, 61% Ajax Dani. That's typically what he wants around that mark, and fantastic pass accuracy as well. More than 90%, and he's switched into that 5-4-1.
To be honest, I would not expect anything more from Danny, just to not really attack in the second half, to just manage the game. Just manage the game, keep possession. Tournament football, you're 15 in-game minutes away from sending yourself through to better prize money, more Global Series ranking points. And just to confirm again, Dylan Mike won 6-5 against NSE Vinny, the Brazilian there. So the youngster, the 16-year-old, the dream still lives on for him. And that's the furthest he has gone in a tournament to date. So he'll be through to tomorrow to face one of these two. Again, really impressive stuff from such a young player. Benedict Salazar, though. He needs something all the way across. There's no one there for him.
That was a nice little cross as well, a diagonal. Played into that back post. I think Salazar was going to go through at the back. So he switched Varane and Maldini just there. Interesting change. Balanced and... not balanced, I should say. Depth and width both going forward yet again.
Not kind of fully committing yet, I can see from Salazar. Maybe in 5 minutes he'll pause it again.
He's not in a Seahan, which usually everything goes forward from his fellow German.
And of course, as you know, last year it was all about the sliders, wasn't it? You know, 100% was, if you're doing aggression, you're going to be pretty aggressive at 100%. This year it's more of a, see that the bars as such, to show exactly what you're doing. You can see the dynamic tactics as well, which show the movement your players will be doing. However, this is what we expected from Danny, to be honest, keep hold of the ball. However, it's risky. You make a mistake, you could be conceding. And there we go, he's lost the ball there. Lucky for him, it's bounced back. Now Ramos is out of position.
Lovely dink down the line. Pele just out of play, though. Salazar's maybe going to get 1 to 2 chances left in this game. He's going to get one fantastic chance, and he has to take it if he does want to see himself go through to the semi-finals and force a penalty shootout.
Ronaldo inside. This is... For me, I think play one more. I think he's just too keen to try and shoot there. Corner comes in now. No, it's going to be played short instead. Out to Kante, back to Maldini. I don't know why he's just been given the ball. I think he just passed it off saying, why have I got the ball?
There's Ramos.
Back post.
What a ball that is!
What a defensive header from Sergio Ramos.
It was Ramos to Ramos.
He could do it attacking. We've seen him score goals, but defensively, Ramos, by far, the best defensive centre-back on the game.
Well, that was one of his chances, Richard. This is going to be another one. He won't get many more. This will probably be it. Ramos once again holding on to the ball. We are really into the latter stages now.
Danny's panicking, just trying to get this final whistle heard.
Just hold on for a few more minutes. I'm sure Coach Bass will be saying, Benedict Salzo there once again. It's going to go out for a throw-in for him.
Throwing deep in Danny territory for Salzo.
Can he hold on? Everything has to be perfect now.
He's looking for an option. The time's just ticking down.
What are you thinking to yourself? Why is no one maybe an option there? Giving the ball back to Ajax, Danny. Added time at 2 minutes. That was a bit silly from Danny there, just giving possession away. However, can just keep hold of this. This is Danny Saluj now. Can he be going through to face Dylan Mike tomorrow in the semi-finals? Seconds remain, and what's been a fantastic two-legged game. We've had to have extra time as well. It'll be the end of the road for Benedict Salzo. And Ajax, Danny, as you mentioned, Richard, the Flying Dutchman. I don't know when this road's going to end for him. Beat MS Desire in the last game, and it's just taken out Benedict Salzo, 3-2 in a fantastic 2 legs of FIFA.
Ajax, Danny's journey in Bucharest does continue. Good performance against Salzo. Did the job that he needed to do, saw out the game in quite a mature, quite a experienced manner, played it all the way back to his goalkeeper, knew he didn't have to score another goal, just hold that lead, and he's set up a fantastic game in the semi-final that we're going to see tomorrow, live on stream, versus Dylan Mike.
Well, I said as well in that second leg of extra time in the second game, I said, I will not be surprised if Danny doesn't attack. Because I've said about this before, you can be more of a mature FIFA player. When I say about being more mature, you can keep the ball, you can manage a game. You don't need to attack.
He went 5 at the back. He knew that he'd just see out the game, play to Ronaldo up top, and that's exactly what he did. He's through to tomorrow, and he's set up a tie with Dylan Mike. Jimmy Conrad, what are your thoughts on the couch?
Thought, Richard, is that you're not wearing that shirt from yesterday. You guys remember that shirt? You should never wear that again.
No,
I'm here on the couch with Spencer and Boris.
Good one.
Now, guys, I'm gutted for Salzor. I felt like he had a good run. He beat Goal Machine. When you beat a tough opponent, you want to keep that run going. His run ends now. But now, we talk about Ajax Danny. He beats Desari, feeling very good about himself, and now he can kick on and potentially beat Dylan Mike to get into the console final.
He's knocking out big names, you know, the Salzor gentleman of the scene, the gentle giant, if you will. Sad to see him go, but delighted for Danny, who's getting a reward for a lot of his fine work over the last few years. There's a German in every semi-final so far,
That's a fun fact.
Germans are doing very well. They had a lot of people here. 25%
Yeah, the odds
of the
were
field.
they're going to have a few guys sneak in. But what are they doing, the Germans? What are they doing different than everybody else?
Well, it's hard to say. First of all, of course, we have to say it's a big country. I think it's a population of 90 million, approximately. So, of course, they're also going to produce more great players. But also, what they're having is that their community is very strong. They have always tournaments coming every year. And at every LAN tournament, when a player goes there, you always learn something new when you come back home. And I think that is the reason. So constantly having a lot of tournaments and, of course, big talent. And we're seeing here that, yes, like you said, in every semi-final this far, we have a German and potentially also one more with Mar playing against Pina here in the next quarterfinal.
All right, now let's talk about the youngest German, Dylan Mike. That was our featured match against NSE Vinny. Spencer, we both had Vinny. It's your first loss.
Yeah, he broke my unbeaten record, but I don't mind it. I'm happy for Dylan Mike. He's a really promising young player. That's a goal from Vinny there, which was getting him back in the mix, but it was not enough to beat the young German who has got serious potential. We've got to take notice of this guy, and no one can be underestimating him if they were making the mistake to do that already.
We could argue that was the most important goal of the tie because it was right before the end of the first leg.
Yeah.
Again, we've said it time and time again, giving up a goal at the first 5 or last 5 minutes of any half is a dagger into your heart.
Yeah,
but Vinny comes back.
Yeah, this is Dylan Mike still here, about to get another goal. And the keeper there on his line didn't come off at all, didn't close the angle down and couldn't get it across in time. And yeah, he's just pretty relentless, the young lad. And I mean, it just shows you that anyone can come onto the scene at any one time and shake things up. You know, every year, someone might be watching at home that's 15 right now and thinking, oh, next year could be my year. Well, look at this guy.
Yeah. I mean, 6-2 at this point, but somehow Vinny finds his way back into it, Boris.
Yeah, that's what we're seeing also with Mike, that maybe not still the most consistent player. I think that is, of course, because of his age. There's still a lot of experience there to be creating. But, I mean, he was struggling in the Swiss format. He was 1-2, and he drew the first game he was playing with the Kevin Asia. He drew that game, but in that second leg, he completely destroyed.
He found some new form.
Yeah, he found something special, because after that he's just been a train that has been a very, very young train that is hard to stop. And even though he almost lost this lead, he's still looking like a big threat. He was playing actually 6-7 against Tex in the Swiss format. So this is a player that potentially could beat Tex. But first, of course, there's a long way left. He has to take on Danny, and also Tex has to win his round with Rasek. But Dulan Mike looking very, very promising.
Well, I'm glad you brought up Dulan Mike, because he's with our Kyle Walker right now.
Thank you, Jimmy. Yes, I am here. Dulan Mike, 16 years old. I'll tell you this right now. I was not doing this when I was 16. You're through to the Xbox semi-finals. How are you feeling? You must be over the moon.
Yeah, I just can't describe it anymore. Like, the past 2 tournaments I went, I got out of the groups, but then I lost every time the first knockout round. And then when I won the first round against Gorilla 8-3, I was looking pretty confident. And so now I'm just buzzing. Describe it.
You were confident indeed, and you carried that through to the next round. Will that confidence continue into tomorrow?
Yeah, hopefully, but I've never played against Danny. Just know he's famous for the first time long shots, but I'm looking forward to it.
So you said there you're looking forward to that. Tomorrow is going to be a huge day for you. Any plans for tonight, or are you going to go back and compete in a weekend league?
Nah, no weekend league for me today. I think I'm just chilling with the other Germans, maybe go eat dinner and then relax until tomorrow.
Now, you just mentioned there the other Germans. We've had so many facts about Germans competing. Time and time again, we are seeing them. What is it that you guys are doing? We always hear it at these tournaments.
I don't know, just like the whole German scene is like really competitive. So when you like to get started in the scene, you have to beat the best to get known. And that's what I just did, I think.
Yes, definitely you are showing us that you are the best. Now, let's talk a little bit about your journey, because obviously 16 years old, you are quite young. You were saying that you didn't see yourself being here a year ago. You wouldn't have thought that you'd be in this position. Tell us about that.
Yeah, just last year, up until May, I was just Elite 3 standard player. Then in mid of May, when Team of the Season came out, I became top 100 for the first time. And then just, I think in August, I was second in the month, which got a few 40-0s. And then I thought that I would just start with Elite 3 again in FIFA 19, but managed top 100 in the second week with a bad team, so I thought maybe it's possible. And then the first qualifier, I qualified for Bucharest in November, and now I'm here. It's insane.
Unbelievable stuff there. You said it yourself. You've made it unbelievable. Brilliant stuff. Good luck for the rest of the weekend. Back to you guys on the couch.
On Mike and Kyle, I was pretty surprised by his voice. A little deeper than I thought. It's very Brandon Smith-esque.
Well, for a 16-year-old as well, he speaks great English.
He does.
What's he going to be like at 20?
I don't know.
Be Prime Minister quality.
No, he's doing well. I definitely wasn't achieving this type of success at 16. What do you think he's capable of now that he's got going up against Ajax Danny? Do you think he can take that next step and get into the console final?
I mean, after the game against Gorilla, where he won 8-3, I think everything is possible. We saw him, he's been finding some kind of new confidence, so maybe some new keys in his gameplay. Just after he beat Kevin Asia, he was finding some new confidence, and he's just keep getting these wins. And okay, you could say that he is too young to win a major, but then we have players like FUT Tex,
yeah, I think Tex
who did it last year,
right.
and who keeps proving it that age at this stage doesn't really matter.
We could see a 16 versus 17-year-old in the final.
Yeah, which would be incredible.
Still some games to be played, of course.
You know what else is incredible, though? We have another Twitch drop, everybody.
Woo!
Make sure you link your EA and Twitch accounts so that you can be eligible to win a Prime Players Pack. We're going to make it rain for a lot of you guys. We appreciate your support on the stream. Thank you for watching. It's been a blast to have you guys join us on this adventure. Now, let's get into Ajax Danny. We talked a lot about Dulan Mike, but Ajax Danny performing well. Obviously got some big confidence beating Desari. Then he takes down Salzor. He didn't seem as excited after he beat Salzor. Like, he beat Desari, and it was like, whoa, I can't believe I did it. We kind of got over that hump. overcame an obstacle. The Salazar just seemed like he was a little bit more demure, and not that he expected it, but you know, in some ways.
Well, he probably,
you know where I'm going with this.
Yeah, he probably felt like an underdog going into the Sorry game, and it's one of those things. It's like once you overcome that, apart from winning the whole thing, it's going to be quite hard to replicate that kind of feeling because it's such a big win against Asari. Nothing against Salzor, of course, great player. They would have played each other plenty of times, although Salzor has switched console. So he probably just expected it a little bit more. That's all I'll say. A bit more confidence going into it. But he'll be doing jumping jacks on the inside because he knows how many points he's got. That's the thing.
That's true. That's a really big deal. And you know who else is a big deal? Well, the two people at the breakdown board, Rachel and Mike. And Mike, we love that grease lightning jacket you're wearing.
I'm going to wait for the day until you comment on what I'm wearing, because, I mean, you know, my jacket isn't dissimilar to his. Anyway, let's move on. We're going to carry on with that conversation. Danny there taking on Salsa. And, yeah, let's just go straight to the breakdown board, because we always, we already spoke about him quite a bit, didn't we, earlier on, and just spoke a bit about his goals, and it's always from outside the area. And this is a similar goal, but we liked how he kind of worked the goal leading up to it, didn't we, Mike? That's, I guess, what we're going to say with this clip right now.
Yeah, we talked so much about his usage of a lot of first-time finesse shots and scoring goals from outside the box because he's definitely a specialist, but we don't always give enough credit for his patience, recycling the ball, and then also some of the defensive prowess he has. So on this freeze frame here, these are the two areas that Danny's mostly looking for because they're just great for first-time finesse shots and kind of opening up those gaps that he's looking for in particular, and that's why he's recycling.
You keep mentioning the word recycling. For people who aren't on the competitive scene and aren't used to all the lingo you guys throw out, explain the word recycling.
So when we say recycling in the competitive esports scene for FIFA, basically that means, okay, you've tried to attack, you probably got too many bodies in the final third, and you're going to bring it back out, and you're going to recycle. You're going to let your runners kind of get into space, you're going to try to find those gaps again, and it's just kind of a reset.
Okay, so you've passed it back, and then you're ready, you're opening up play and seeing where it's going to go next. Is it going to go 1 or 2 to try and end up with that goal? It goes 2.
Those are his two bread and butter zones, and that's where he's been able to score a lot of the same goals over and over again, but it's the creativity in his build-up and the patience in his build-up that is sometimes overlooked or underappreciated, and it's the way that he's scoring these goals time and time again.
And we were having the conversation earlier, if you were watching, and I was saying, is he not going to start changing up his goals? He keeps scoring from outside the area. It's obviously working. He's in semi-final.
Consistency is key, just like my jacket. I'm a pro bowler. I've got grease lightning going. We've got all sorts of good stuff. I think Jimmy is just jealous.
Oh, are you, Jimmy?
Consistency is key, just like my jacket. I'm a pro
Me? Jealous? Look at this face. I'm never jealous. Also, Rachel, you always bring your A game. That's why I don't come at you. Questionable from Mike, though. B-, C+. You just never know what's coming with this guy. I mean, I give him an A for effort, but anything else, I'm not so sure.
A for hair.
Yeah.
Can't argue the hair.
You can't argue with that. He's got a nice set of hair locks.
Maybe that's an English word for clothes.
Anyway, that's a conversation for another time. Now we want you guys to vote for our next match on the PS4 side of the bracket. Here are your two options. It's Lost in the Waves versus Wolves Fafilsa or Stefano Pina taking on Marv. What do you want to see next? Use the hashtag NextMatchFIFA. And then, of course, hit up EA FIFA Esports to make that happen. You guys get to decide. That's pretty cool. How about you guys? Can we influence the crowd, everybody on the chat?
I want to see more Pina, personally. Belgian versus German, I think could be a good match. I think he's probably slightly tipped favourite for that game, but Marv could be a good test. If Marv can recapture the form he had at the FEWC final last year, he'll be hard to beat.
Okay, and then you, Boris?
Yeah.
Which one do you like?
Well, I would say Pina, also Pina with Marv, because Pina was, before this tournament, my favorite on the PS4 side, and we mentioned this many times, that we don't really praise Pina enough. You have to take a look at his gameplay. He makes FIFA look so easy. I mean, he doesn't do anything spectacular, no special skill moves, but he just does what is effective, and he wins his games. And we have also Marv here, who is under pressure to get points. This is the only tournament that he's qualified for and ranked, I think, number 91 at the moment. He really needs as many points as possible. And just like also Spencer mentioned, he made it to the finals. It was at the playoffs where he lost against Nicholas. So this is a player that when he plays his best level, amazing player. And we can see a very tough game and a great game here, definitely.
So we've seen 6 players book their spots for the console semifinals that are going to happen tomorrow, but who is going to join them? That is the question. Come back and join us to find out.
This is a player that when he plays his best level.
I think at this tournament I'm one of the favorites because Nicolas is not here, and normally he's the best player on PlayStation. I'm not afraid of any opponent. There are a couple of good opponents, but no, not afraid. I think Nicolas is the best player at this moment. My favorite formation this year is 4-2-3-1, like any pro player I think, so it's my favorite. If I was a player, I think I was maybe a silver player. I think at 60-70 rating or something. Well, I stopped playing FIFA or 1 minute else. I don't think so, no. I love the game, I love FIFA, I love football, so no, I don't think so. My biggest challenge in life? It's difficult. I think my FIFA game against Marcuso last year at the E World Cup. It was a big game, a lot of prize money, a lot of fame. So it was a big game, yes, against him, I think. If I could trade life with anyone, yeah, I think Messi, because he's my favorite football player, and yeah, I think Messi. How long can I resist without checking my phone? I think maximum 2 minutes or something. My favorite FIFA 19 icon is I think Vieira or Cruyff. I think I go for Cruyff because he's 5-star weak foot, 5-star skill moves, and he's amazing to play. My favorite non-icon, a non-team of the year player is yeah, I will go for Ronaldo because he can everything, so he's amazing. Because he's 5-star weak foot, 5-star skill moves.
Welcome back, everyone, to Bucharest for the FUT Champions Cup presented by PS4. I'm Jimmy Conrad, and I am very excited because we are on the last set of matches for the quarterfinals. And I'm with Spencer Owen and Boris Legend. Now, guys, the votes have come in, and the featured match is going to be Wolves Fafilsa taking on Waves.
Okay, so they just don't listen to us at this point, Boris.
No.
Brazilians are
maybe they just expect Stefano Pina to win. Like, it's going to be a yawner. Let's watch the other one and see what happens.
Maybe. I think Boris is right. I think it's Brazilians coming out strong for their
coming
boy.
Out strong, yeah.
They were let down last time. Vinny didn't make it through. Nor did Senna. Oh, Senna's still in, actually. No, he's not. Senna's out.
Senna's out.
So it is their last hope. The final Brazilian hope could be their last hope.
Well, maybe they jinxed him by putting him on as the feature.
Maybe.
I don't know. Well, let's get into predictions. Boris, Fafilsa versus Waves. Now, Waves had a remarkable comeback against FUT Marco in the round of 16. He was down 4-1 after leg 1. He won the second leg 5-1. So, yeah, I mean, he's got something in him, that fight, that spirit that you need to have success at the highest levels.
Yeah, and that was surely the comeback of the tournament against Marco. I mean, he was trailing, it was looking very, very bad for him, but then he switched up his tactics and made his comeback. And what's also fun is that I played him once in the qualifiers, and I was also leading with three goals, and he got a guy sent off, and he won the game.
So he's the comeback king, is what you're saying.
Comeback king, yes. And then we have also here the last hope from Brazil. And this is really a good hope because I mentioned one of the favorites for this tournament, playing FIFA of his life at the moment. We hyped him up in the last Bucharest Cup, but he was maybe not really embracing the meta yet. But now he's combining this fantastic passing play. I mean, his one-touch passes are amazing, and he's combining this with the first-time finish, and I think he's gonna win this game.
All right, well, let's take a look at the players now. So you saw some sweet intros from those guys, and you heard from Boris, who said that Fafilsa is your pick to win this.
Yes.
Spencer, it's your turn.
Well, you'd be a brave man to go against the Germans because the Germans are just dominating things left, right, and centre at the moment. And I did go with Vinny last time to represent the Brazilian guys. They let me down. They gave my first defeat so far in terms of predictions. But
so does that mean you don't want to go with Brazil?
No, I'm going to.
Oh, you are?
Go for Filza again. You know, Nicholas says he's the best player in South America. I'm going to listen to Nicholas. I'm going to go with that man right there. He's in front of my eyes.
All right, Filza. I think for the first time all day, we're all going to agree. Though I think we all picked Tex as well.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so I'm going to go with Fafilza as well. I do agree with you, Boris, that he seems to have improved upon his performance the last time we had a tournament here in Bucharest.
Yep.
And I just think he's got something special about him.
Yeah,
However,
definitely.
I don't want to discount what Waves did in the last round. I mean, that comeback was incredible, so you can never count him out. And maybe he likes being under the underdog.
Yeah. Wolves versus Waves. Can Wolves swim? I think they can. I think they're good swimmers if they need to be. So I'm going to go the Wolves over the Waves.
All right. Any score lines? We actually haven't done any score lines. You think it's going to be something big? You think it's going to be tight? These quarterfinals have been pretty tight.
This is going to be a big scoreline because both these players are preferring the more of a kind of attacking gameplay. So I'm predicting at least 8 goals in this matchup.
8 goals?
Yeah.
All right.
It can be one by
so
one
what's
goal.
the over-under?
1 goal difference.
1 goal difference in favor of Fafilza.
Yep.
And you're feeling some Brazilian spirit here.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
Carnival.
The Carnival.
That too.
Okay, now let's just go briefly into Stefano Pina versus Marv while we have a little bit of time. Do you think Pina's got this one down?
I don't think it's going to be easy. I think it could be his toughest matchup so far, but I think Pina's going to get the win.
Yeah, same with you, Boris. I mean, he's been our favorite the whole time. We've been talking him up the whole time. He's the guy you can't sleep on. And if he wins, he's going to face the winner of this matchup that we're looking at now.
Yeah, and he also has a chance. If he wins this tournament, he's going to earn 1,500 points, which will put him #1 in the world. So I think that is also great motivation for him, and it's going to be hard to stop him, definitely.
Okay, so we have Fafilza, Pina. Yeah. I think we all think where it's going to go. Let's throw it over to the casters now and see what they think. Guys, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well, Jimmy, and it's going to be the final game of the day, of course, so a little bit sad in that respect. But are you looking for our predictions once again, right?
Of course I am.
Okay, well, I'm going to go with Fafilza. I need these points. You know, I haven't had a good day as far as predictions are concerned, so I'm going with everyone else.
Yeah,
Gaskin?
I'm thinking for Filza as well. Considering Nicholas has hailed him as the better player than him in his region, I think this could be a really good chance for Filza to really show us what he's made of.
Well, this is a clean sweep. I think all the Waves fans are going to be like, We'll have to wait and see how this game plays out. Good luck with the call, guys.
Thank you very much. And yeah, the final game of the day, we thank you, of course, for joining us here in Bucharest. To close things out, though, obviously we have 2 games going on consecutively, but we're going to be covering Lost in the Waves versus Fafilza per your demands on Twitter. So it's a real opportunity here for Fafilza. He's kind of gone under the radar a little bit so far in the tournament, but got to this stage. Both of these players have had interesting routes to this game, Dan. We will talk us through that just a second as we see the players getting set up here for the game. But Fafilza, with so much talk about him, so much high praise coming from such high places as well, of course, with Nicholas. Excited to see how this goes. Both of these players have had interesting routes to this game, Dan. We will talk us through that just a second. Here we go then. Game number 1 is underway. Ronaldo going to be on the ball early, and we know how dangerous that these opportunities from the kickoff can be early on. A little bit of a pause here, a little bit of a technical issue. Here we go then. Game just waiting to see.
Well then, here we go. For Filza with a chance to really show what he's made of. He has been hailed as an incredible player by Nicholas, and he was beaten by Nicholas last week. And that was the end of his run in London. Maybe if he had faced some other opponents, he might have been able to do a little bit better. But this is his chance to show up. He's in a quarterfinal, has the possibility of a semi-final. He's had some decent results. Has already faced Stefano Pina earlier in the Swiss. He did lose that one, but it was a very close affair. He lost 3-2. Whereas Lost in the Waves has had some very high-scoring games on his end.
Yeah, sorry if there was a little technical issue there, if we sounded a little bit disjointed, but we're back now, and hopefully you can hear us both absolutely fine. Ronaldo coming forward for the Wolves man for Filza. I know that there's a lot of Brazilian fans out there who are wanting to see him succeed. And already early on in that left wing position, we saw him maybe lining up that El Tornado for that back post cross. So keep an eye on that. Seems like it's something that the Brazilian will like to try and pull off in this game. But now straight up the other end, Lost in the Waves. He's formulating an attack of his own, and here's Messi inside the box. Oh, there's a deflection. It just goes wide of the upright.
Waves has scored at least 4 goals in every single match that he's played in so far this tournament. It has been goals galore for him, and he's the one who's looked dangerous early on.
Great
Neymar!
turn.
And he carries on his fine form. Verfilzer can do nothing but just watch and learn at this point. He tried to defend, he tried to pressure Neymar, but from the corner, he found the space, and Waves goes 1-0 up.
Such a difficult situation to defend there. When you have that player with your back to goal, when you can't dive in, he's just going to move it either side, because you've obviously got that 5-star weak foot with Neymar. Can take it on his right, can take it on his left. And when you're that far out, don't even have time to react, to move your goalkeeper to try and make a save, to make something heroic happen. But straight up the other end now. Lionel Messi's on the board. He strikes it. Big, strong fist on it from David De Gea. Tries to fire it back across goal, but we've seen some big saves coming in from De Gea today, and there's another one to add to the collection.
Great response from Verfilzer, though, to show he's not just going to be a pushover in this match. He's not going to allow that early chance for Lost in the Waves to affect his mentality. And here he is again, going forward. There was a run made by Messi. He finds it. It's Ronaldo out on the edge. Keeper's nowhere to be seen. It just gets put wide.
Unfortunately, the finish was almost as absent as the goalkeeper was in that particular situation. And Mbappe now comes forward, and this has been an end-to-end affair to start with. Already one goal on the board. Ronaldo now. Little fake shot inside from Lost in the Waves, but unfortunately for him, little wayward pass, and now straight up the other end. Comes for Filzer. You saw both of these players with very similar play styles by the looks of things. Finally for Filzer, kind of slows things down momentarily, but just as I say that, he bursts back into action now. Neymar with the McGeady spin, and he finds Messi! A fantastic passing move there from Verfilzer, a great finish. We saw a game full of goals earlier, Dan, and I think we might be in for another one here.
Yeah, Verfilzer really taking advantage of the fullbacks being pressed quite high up the pitch from Lost in the Waves. Both Marcelo and Kyle Walker were quite far up, which means it was very difficult to defend the runs that were being made. But yeah, you're completely right. I mean, if I look across the games that Waves been in, he won 6-5, he won 4-2, he won 9-5, he lost 6-5, he lost 7-4, he won 5-1. They have all been goal fests. He's been scoring a lot, but he has been conceding plenty too.
Well, it's going to be a fantastic way to close out the day here in Bucharest. Obviously, only one of these players can progress into the semi-finals. Lost in the Waves,
Ooh.
Tries a catch. Verfilzer off guard there, but Courtois just about got across to it. Now the corner. Ferdinand on the edge of the box, looking for that little pass into the 18-yard box. Two heel-to-heels from Mbappe. Courtois just palms it out into a dangerous area. Luckily for Verfilzer, there wasn't any on-rushing striker to convert that chance.
And I feel like you at home might have voted for the correct game.
Oh, what a move.
There's going to be so much
great
space.
patience. Oh, no!
It almost felt like there were two goalkeepers then, but he has it again, and that time it's gone in.
He finds the finesse shot on the edge of the box after working the initial opportunity. You almost thought it was a guaranteed goal for the Brazilian. Unfortunately for him, the initial chance didn't go in, but he kept his composure, Dan. The ball fell back to him on the edge of the box. And it was the right foot of Neymar that found that far corner.
It almost felt like he had too much time initially, and it allowed those centre-backs to get on the line, and he couldn't get past the centre-back, who felt like he made the diving save in the end. But sometimes after a save and the keeper's hit the ground and the ball does come back out, it takes a little bit of time for that keeper to reset. The goalkeeper movement isn't going to be as quick as usual. And Verfilzer taking full advantage of that. And does take the lead after going 1-0 down.
So interested to see the contrasting play styles that you have between players. Ronaldo now coming forward for Waves. We have some games, Dan, like the Dax versus Nicholas Razek game earlier. A real attritional battle. Both players playing almost a game of chess against each other. And then you have players like this who are just trying to outscore their opponents, quite simply.
Very end-to-end stuff. But that does mean that every attack is going to present an opportunity. Both players leaving slight gaps at the back, allowing those runs to be made past those fullbacks. And here's a chance on the edge of the box. A nice little pass. It's Ramos. You don't really want him with the ball at his feet. Although I suppose Team of the Year Ramos, it's not too bad. Much prefer a Team of the Year Mbappe, though, that's for sure.
Here comes Verfilzer then. Look at the overlapping run outside from Mbappe here. If he can find a ball through the middle, might be a chance for another goal as we approach the half-time whistle as well. Vieira now Decides to go back to Hullet. Just working this midfield space here. Neymar. Little cricketer. Tries to hit that drag back. Now there's this pocket of space for Messi. Hit it well. Defender in the way. Mbappe having to do some work at the end of the field that you don't really want him doing work, to be honest with you.
And that was a really nice movement as well from Filza.
Oh, Ronaldo through. Risky touch. Great composure from Waves. Ball around the goalkeeper. Cristiano Ronaldo showing his worth. Bullying Rio Ferdinand off the ball, I think that was. And then the composure, like I said, the ball around the goalkeeper. A simple finish at the end, and just like that, we go from one end to the other, and it's 2-2.
And we have had games today with some players who didn't really have that kind of composure in their locker. They didn't have the ability to bring out the ball rolls, the drag backs, the cricketers. Fiddle is a name that sticks in my head. He was very much a pass and move kind of player, which works the majority of the time, but sometimes you need that little extra bit of spice. And that's exactly what Waves has done there to equalise against Filza. A shame after such a promising attack from Filza, where he was working on the edge of the box with Messi, open upping his body and then shooting the opposite way. And it seems like that's going to be his approach here for this game. Try and manoeuvre his way around goalkeeper movement.
Wonder if Ronaldo's just come back from an offside position. Yes, he has. So a free kick here for Waves towards the end of this first half. Just a few moments left, plus stoppage time. But both these players have looked so dangerous going forward. There might be a chance for another goal. Neymar, Courtois with a save.
The statistics at the end of this first half, or at the end of this game, is probably going to be quite high in terms of shots. Both players not afraid to pull that trigger. The last chance of the half looks like it's going to go for Waves.
Oh, and Mbappe finds the net as well. 3-2 inside the first half. Kylian Mbappe, what a foot item this is.
And that's twice now. And it's come from a corner and it's been played out. And players just haven't been able to find their footing in the box, haven't been able to close down the players quick enough. And we're talking about surprising the goalkeeper and trying to get past them before the goalkeeper movement happens. Perfect example. And we've seen the lead once again traded back, but this time in favour of Waves.
And there is that half-time whistle then. What a first half that was of our first leg. Goals galore, chances galore from both of these players. Possession shared. Pretty tight, to be honest with you. But I like what I'm seeing from these two. They've really taken it to each other, giving us some real entertainment towards the end of the day here in Bucharest. The question is, who's going to win this first leg here? Because it seems at the moment it's like a heavyweight fight. Both players are just trading blows.
Look at that for Filza as well, just adapting those dynamic tactics, changing to drop back. Drop back does definitely seem to be heavily favoured in the meta. It will allow some of those players to be further behind the ball and stop those finesse shots from outside the box. But at the same time, you've got to think, is drop back the tactic you want to go for to get back into a game? I was speaking to both of the Ivans about this, and they were saying, well, they still seem to create the same amount of opportunities going forward when playing drop back, but just defensively, they felt that little bit stronger. They felt that their opponents struggled to break them down. And for Filza, who was unbalanced, it seems, now he's going to go into that drop back role.
Waves then coming forward again. That goal at the end of the first half was huge. Almost breaks here to Lionel Messi. Marcelo slightly rushed clearance there. You can see what he was trying, and Waves is trying something special. Using that active first touch system, getting that ball up in the air and looking for that volley. Didn't time it perfectly, and have to wonder if he hits that green. That might have been one to write home about.
Chance though. Space for Mbappe. We've seen what he can do at the other end of the pitch. Messi plays it into Cristiano Ronaldo.
Beautiful. Oh, it's
and
beautiful.
It's just a simple finish at the end of the day. The keeper was moving left and right, but he couldn't quite get the prediction correct. And we're all tied up again.
6 goals inside 53 minutes here. It's a goal fest.
I mean, Tex did that, but he did that himself.
That's true. That's true. They all came at one end.
And we talk about the global series ranking points and what it would mean for both of these players, just to give you an idea of where they are in the leaderboards. For Filza's currently 28th, 396 points, whereas Waves, he's down at 103rd. Of course, for Filza, with that top 16 finish last weekend at the LQE, That gave him a little bit of boost in the leaderboards, but even this now, even more points. Will project him even higher in those leaderboards. So you could argue this is a slightly more important game for Waves. But at the same time, when Fafilza looks at the rest of the field, and he says, hey, hold on a minute, there's no Mo Aubameyang. There's no Nicholas to take me down. This is here for the taking.
Absolutely. I think a lot of PlayStation players are going to be feeling like that who are left in the tournament. I think having got to that knockout stage, every single PlayStation 4 player had that mindset. They thought this could be my tournament to make my mark on the PlayStation 4. A well-worked opportunity there from Fafilza, though, is going to tie the game up again. Cristiano Ronaldo, the man who slotted it home. And interesting to see, I think he had both of his CDMs just on default in-game tactics there, on instructions, excuse me. Now we set them both to stay back while attacking. I think he's kind of realized that Waves is just going to play one way. He's going to keep coming at him. If he can kind of negate that, he's creating enough to maybe create enough opportunities to score, and it's going to be more about keeping Waves out at one end more than it is for him to create at the other.
Yeah, by switching to stay back. Chances like that before.
Ooh, Ramos.
They may have gone in, but Neymar pops a shot at goal. De Gea just quick to get down to his near post.
De Gea comes out.
It's nice and easy.
And claims that one, drops it down to his feet, and now Waves is just going to stream forward once again. Love what I'm seeing from both players here. So much attacking intent, trying to make the most of every single opportunity they have to go forward. Turn inside, Neymar with the finesse.
Drop back. Again, those players just in the way. They stop that finesse shot. You've got several bodies, all four defenders and a couple of CDMs are blocking the shot. Corners have provided goals.
Oh, Mbappe again!
And that's from a third corner for Waves. It doesn't matter what tactics Fafilza puts on. Somehow Waves still finds a way through.
This is an unbelievable game of FIFA 19. Both players leaving it all out here. This is just the first leg. This is the beauty of it. We've still got another leg to come after this to decide who will be going into our semi-final. Fafilza now, 4-2-2 time. Once again, changing things up in his tactics, and you just feel like maybe he feels like he's got answers to a lot of different situations, or is this a sign of panic?
Some players are very tactically clever, and they know exactly what counters what or what they feel is comfortable for them. I don't know if the way that Fafilza is switching around really screams that to me. It mainly just looks like he's uncomfortable with these situations, and he's almost toying with his tactics to try and find something that works. I'd like to think there's some method in the madness, and we will see, because he has managed to come back into the game a couple of times already. But he needs to find a way to defend against these corners that are just being passed onto the edge of the box, and then goals are being found left, right and centre. Offside trap, perfect there from Waves. Catches out for Fafilza, and he will regain possession.
And I think if you asked a lot of people, analysts, ourselves included, if Lost in the Waves would be one of those players we were talking about potentially winning a tournament here on the PlayStation 4 side of things, let alone the cross-console, you have to put your hand up and say it probably wouldn't have been up there. Someone like Fafilza, with the reputation that he's gathered from South America, though, you would have to say, yeah, maybe. He could come out with a tournament win. But this is a real statement in this first game from Lost in the Waves. And it's the way that he's going about it as well. He's entertaining. He's really taking the fight to his opponent. And with about 20 minutes or so left in game, he currently has the lead. But Fafilza's looking to change that almost immediately. Couldn't quite squeeze that ball through to Ronaldinho, who was lurking, and now Waves immediately goes back on the attack, and look at this mess he's in behind.
He's got so much space, but he's got no one to help him, so just a couple of ball rolls.
He doesn't need
now
the help.
Finally has Pele alongside him.
Oh, he doesn't need the help.
He gets a 2-goal cushion he's been searching for. Fafilza starting to get a little bit frustrated now. And this tournament just seems to be the dream for newcomers. Players like Hasu, players like Waves, who are at their first tournament of the season, are showing up here in Bucharest.
Oh boy, are they as well. Lionel Messi did so much work down that right-hand side there, just held off the defenders, found the pass to Pele, and Pele found the finish to match the effort from Lionel Messi. The 2-goal cushion, something we haven't seen. Like I said, it's been both players just trading blows back and forth, trading goals back and forth. But 5-3 in our first leg? This is madness.
Said there'd be goals. I said that Waves does score goals. His trouble has been trying to keep those leads that he does gain ever so easily, it would seem. There is space now for Filza, though, going forward. One more to Cristiano Ronaldo, but Ronaldinho can't quite get hold of the ball.
Messi's in behind here again.
I wonder whether it's going to get slightly desperate for Filza. Now he does find himself 2 goals behind. Is he going to start to rush his play a little bit more, which might hurt him?
What a first leg this performance has been so far. Well, I mean, I have to say from both players, but Lost in the Waves is edging it at the moment. Ronaldo now with a little cricketer. Neymar's on the edge of the box. Deflection. Takes it wide of the upright. Will be another corner here to the German. Ronaldinho gets involved there. Kante will be on the throw-in here for Lost in the Waves.
And it's a completely different environment for Filza now. When he played against Nicholas at the weekend.
Ronaldo! Oh, he's done it again!
It's another corner!
6-3! What is happening?
When he played against Nicholas at the weekend, Filza just couldn't break down the defence. He got out-defended, but now he's just getting outscored. Waves is finding goal after goal. He's slowly drifting away, and I'm very impressed.
This has been a marquee performance, to be honest with you, from Lost in the Waves. So many similar opportunities we've seen him put away, just having his back to goal, turning and just hitting it on the half turn. But Filza almost found his way through there, but a 3-goal cushion going into the second leg. Normally, with a player, you'd say, yeah, that's enough to see it through. That's going to make his life pretty easy, but with how high scoring this first leg has been, this is still all to play for in the second leg. Here's Ronaldo. Ronaldo hits it. It will be a corner, and now we've seen how dangerous from these set pieces are. How Lost in the Waves has been. Whips it in towards the front post. Courtois has to get a fist on it.
These are the situations on the edge of the box where the defenders haven't quite positioned themselves right, where Waves has taken full advantage. Plays another pass.
Messi.
This time, defenders thankfully get their foot in. And boy, did Filza need that.
Here comes Lost in the Waves again, and it is just wave after wave, and it's going to be another strike on goal. I want to see the shots on goal. I want to see the shots on targets. At the end of this game, Kante just leaves Ronaldinho in the dust there. Another ball across. It was Ronaldo in the middle with a chance.
Oh, no.
Courtois fallen over. Pele can't quite finish. And the ball ends up on the roof of the net. Filza is under the cosh here.
It's becoming a calamity at the back. And
there's
a chance again.
Yes, another one.
It's corner central. The analyst couch, they asked if Wolves can swim, but at the moment they definitely cannot. Waves is just absolutely dominating in this first leg. From 4 set pieces has he now found goals.
We talk about the importance of set pieces, having every single part of your game down to a T. And Lost in the Waves, his set pieces have been phenomenal so far in this game. 7-3, he's up in our PlayStation 4 quarter-final against one of the best in the world.
And how on earth does Filza respond? Well, I guess there we go. That's the first step. Looked like he was down and he was out. And he was going to be heading into this second leg 4 goals behind, but almost out of nowhere, he pounces on a mistake from Waves to make this 7-4, 11 goals.
11 goals.
In our first leg.
11 goals. If you are not entertained, well, I don't know what to say to you. A little update from the side for you as well in our other PS4 quarterfinal that's going on. Stefano Pina continues to march on. He's 2-0 up at the moment over Marv. And that seems to be the kind of margin that he's just continued to march through his opponents with. Lost in the Waves, though. Conceded. Doesn't care. Goes straight down the other end in stoppage time now, trying to find another one. 7-4. I think all of us would be lying if we said we saw this kind of result coming in our first leg. There is the final whistle. No reaction from Lost in the Waves. He knows he's got 90 more minutes before he can book his spot in the semi-final.
Wow. I mean,
wow,
Filza needs to look at that. He needs to look at corners especially and say, where am I going wrong? What am I doing incorrectly that's allowing all of these opportunities? It's just simple balls into the penalty area and then just one turn, maybe even 2. that is beating several of Fulfil's men at the back, and then it's just an open shot on goal. And Waves, I mean, he must be feeling extremely confident going into this second leg.
I don't know how we couldn't, to be honest with you. The ease of which he was scoring goals as well was the real worrying thing for Fulfilza. Oh, he hasn't been one of these players who's kept possession. He hasn't played it between his two CDMs too much. He has looked for balls in behind, direct balls in behind the defenders, direct ball up to his striker, and the quickest way towards goal. Every single time that he's had possession of the ball, it's been so refreshing to watch, to be honest with you. We've seen a lot of possession played today, but this play style, for me, is so entertaining. Of course, I'm going to love it because it gives us goals, but is it going to be the most effective moving forward? I don't know.
You can see that Fulfil's is uncomfortable with it, though. The amount of times he went into the tactics screen and he tried to change things up. He even went to drop back, and then suddenly he's conceded 2 more goals, and he's saying, okay, I'll go back to what I know, and then another 2 goals goes in, and he's thinking, what can he change? Well, he obviously needs to tighten up at the back. He's trying to outscore Waves, which just isn't working. So maybe he does need to slow things down, play the ball around a little bit more. We've seen players play that possession game. He needs to do basically what Nicholas did to him last week. Just be very tight at the back, be slow, be methodical, think about your play. He does have time. He's only 3 goals behind.
That's the thing.
Only, but 3 goals is achievable in 90 minutes.
Look at those statistics. Lost in the Waves with 22 shots on goal in that game, 15 on target, and he only had 2% more possession in that game as well. That shows how direct he was. That shows how willing he was to commit forward. I love it. I've got nothing else to say. I absolutely love it.
He's now scored 40 goals in this tournament. That's an average so far of 3 goals per leg that he's been scoring every single time. And he's played some pretty impressive FIFA players as well. I'd like to point out, Fulfilza is no pushover. I mean, if Nicholas is saying he's one of the best, he is probably one of the best. Yeah. So it is incredible what Waves is doing, especially considering this is his first live tournament of the season.
Yeah, and I think if we sort of let's calm ourselves down a little bit. Me especially, I'm getting carried away. Just take a second, to take a deep breath. It's 3 goals is the difference. I mean, you know, that's what essentially where we're starting on. 3-0 here to Waves. Fulfilza has shown that he can score 3 goals. That's the thing. He's already got 3 goals. He got 4 goals on the board in that first half. It's defensively where the issue is. You kind of have to think that Waves, you look at the amount of shots he had on goal in that first leg. He's going to score. So it's kind of got to, you know, what's the quickest way for Fulfilza to get 4 goals is kind of what I'm looking at here.
Corners.
Yeah, well, apparently so, yeah.
Maybe he needs to take something from his opposition's game and use these set pieces. But the reason why he's getting these corners is because he's just taking shots. He's taking those risks and he's making those chances and he's being rewarded with set pieces. And then, okay, maybe slightly fortunate. Maybe it's a set piece plan that he's had from the get-go. He's certainly doing something right. I'd love to see Mike study some of these corners and work out why we haven't seen 4 set pieces go in one leg this whole tournament.
It's in such a similar style as well. It's not like it's just like different ways of it going in. He's just found those simple passes into the box and then turned and hit the finesse into the back of the net. It hasn't been rocket science. It's nothing that we haven't seen before, but for some reason, Fulfilza seems to be struggling. So I think that's one for you, Mike, as you say. Yeah, that's some homework for Mike LaBelle to be doing on the touchscreen.
And I think on the other side, of course, we heard that Stefano Pina is winning his current game. If you put either of these players, Fulfilza or Waves, against Pina, what's going to happen? Are we going to have the same kind of clash we saw last week where Nicholas just put a block at the back and no one could get through it? Or are we going to see people finally bringing a player like Pina out of his shell where he has to get on the offensive or he has to score more goals? He's not going to be comfortable, maybe. That's what's exciting about a potential PS4 semi-final coming up.
Yeah, it's very, very true. The one thing that I would say about that is take ourselves back to last weekend. We were talking about Nicholas, how good his defense was, and then we had players like M10 Houston go up against him. We're like, he's an absolute goal scorer. This could be the player to break him down. There's no way that he couldn't score. Nicholas just defended him off the pitch. So my thing is here, is what we're seeing from Lost in the Waves better than what we saw from players like FIFA Houston when they're going up against defensive players? Not so much defensive players. That's unfair to Stefano Pina because he has such a good all-round game. But someone who is so good defensively, is it going to be the same result or is it going to be something different?
Waves hasn't just been using one-dimensional football. When we saw Houston go up against Nicholas, Houston just only had the finesse shots from outside the box and he didn't try anything else. He wasn't able to because Nicholas just controlled the game. Whereas Waves is doing plenty. He's going down different routes. He's getting goals from corners. He is trying finesse shots. He's trying crosses. He's just trying a little bit of everything. Everything he knows from the meta that works, he's adapted and he's put it into his game. Fafilza does have the capability to get back into this. He also has maneuvered those things into his game as well. But he's just been kind of lackluster in the defensive side of things. He will probably be feeling quite unlucky.
I think he'll be feeling a bit shocked.
I think so too. I don't think he would have been expecting Lost in the Waves to be come out of the blocks quite as quick as he did, and to be hit by that many set pieces as well.
That many shots as well. I mean, it's going to take its toll. He's going to be looking at those statistics at the end of the game and thinking, what have I done there? Have I played that badly, or is this guy that good? Because I can't remember a game where we've seen that many shots. Maybe go back to that Tex game earlier, but those statistics are an anomaly at this level. So it's going to be interesting to see if he can bounce back here in our second leg.
Well, he's the first one to get kick-off, the first one to have possession. And can he come out of the blocks as fast as we saw Waves did in the first leg? Or is he just going to be gobbled up once again by the sheer amount of pressure that Waves had to offer? It's going to be the first shot going to Fafilza. But it's just a comfortable save for Waves. Well read, a little bit of keeper movement. 11 goals in the first leg. Can that be topped in the second?
I certainly hope so. There's certainly hope that there's more goals in this. The hill-to-hill there, and Ronaldo has picked up the ball, and Mbappe's around the outside, and already Waves looking dangerous. Vieira now. Across the Hullet, beautiful turn, great shot, but Courtois in behind that one. Didn't nail the green time finish there. But given away almost immediately from Fafilza. And that's got to be a worry for him. He knows that he has to get the ball up the pitch here and create opportunities in this game. Is that going to cause him to make some mistakes and give extra openings to Lost in the Waves?
I feel like naturally Fafilza does just have to go forward. You are completely right. There is going to be opportunities for Waves, and Waves knows that. So that means that Waves can be a little bit more patient about his play. He can wait for Fafilza to make those mistakes, to try and push up the pitch a little bit more. And then that's when he pounces on him. But it's a corner for Waves. What can he do? Nothing this time. Or can he? This has been the danger moment when it comes from outside the area. Mbappe!
Oh, what a save from Courtois. Again, he's finding it so easy just to turn Fafilza's men on the edge of the box and fire away those shots. And it's a variety of shots as well. It's not just that finesse shot. We're seeing those driven shots as well, and they're all pretty much being time green as well, which is making life so hard here for Fafilza. Now, this is where he does want to be playing the majority of the game. In Waves' box, but a strong challenge there. Means that he will get the ball back here, but gives it away. This has been a bit of a sloppy start for both players.
And I think that's what happens when you get two attacking players.
There's one. There's one. It's a two-goal game now.
Fafilza can start to build from this. He's shown and he knows that he can open up Waves at the back. Waves just slightly not predicting that one correctly, moved the keeper the wrong way. And sometimes you can have that. If you move the keeper too early, it just presents the opportunity to your opposition. Fafilza waited, didn't shoot, and played that mind game of, you move first, and I'm just going to slot it whichever way you don't go.
So, 2 goals the difference between the two players. It doesn't sound like a lot, but look at the amount of goals that have been scored already in this. Waves looking to answer back straight away. He's kind of bundling his way through, and he gets a lucky deflection there. Almost a sarcastic clap there you saw from Fafilza. He knows he was unlucky there, but Waves ties up the game at 1-1. And now the 3-goal cushion is restored.
And Fafilza, obviously, not particularly happy about it. Well, it got himself into a decent position, to be fair. It's come off the bottom of Ramos in the end. And yeah, Fafilza won't be happy, but on the other side, Waves is going to be completely okay with it. He'll be like, all right, well, I'll take it. I've been gifted that one. And after Fafilza worked so hard to get back into the game, he has to go again.
Right then. This game has been the most unpredictable game. And I'm sure there's going to be a few more twists and turns before it comes to its conclusion. Pull it then for Fafilza, comes forward. Ronaldo, great move. Oh, big hand there from David De Gea. He'd made the chance pretty beautifully there for Fafilza. And Mbappe struck it well. Fight in now, Ronaldo flicks it back across the 18-yard box. Pressure here from Fafilza, gets the ball into the box. Ronaldo now, looking for that ball inside. Ramos with a big interception there, and now he'll drive it away. And here comes Lost in the Waves once more, trying to find Neymar in behind. Kyle Walker with just enough pace to get there before the Brazilian.
And both of these players on their player cams reacting to every single pass, every single shot. Fafilza needs to be careful, though. not to get too frustrated. You can see the frustration that is starting to hit him. If he allows that to get the better of him, he might struggle, but he has a chance here. Needs men to join him with Neymar.
Ball back to CR7, ball across to Messi! Save from De Gea. Still another phase of this attack though. Mbappe whips it in, De Gea gets another hand on it for Lost in the Waves. And moments like that might be what decide this game. Little moments. And now Fafilza comes once more at the defence of Lost in the Waves. That's a great little ball out to Lionel Messi. Across to Mbappe. Mbappe strikes in. The ball falls to Messi. Can he find one? Oh, it's wide of the target. Kyle Walker gets just enough on it. Fafilza cannot believe it. CR7 now. Finally it goes in. Back to 2 goals.
It's a corner, but on this time, Fafilza grabs it. Every time the keeper has made a save, Fafilza is opening his eyes wide, he's laughing, he's saying, how am I not scoring these goals? Well, I've got to give it to Waves. He has had some fantastic goalkeeper movement. He's been reading the play beautifully. But he moves the keeper out of the goal for that corner, and he's punished because of it that time. And Fafilza back in the game once again, as we get our 14th of the tie. Not very often you get to say that.
I want to see these two play every game forever. This has been nothing short of good fun and entertaining, and some fantastic FIFA 19 from both of them. Mbappe now tries to squeeze it back, and Lost in the Waves. We know he can score goals. Great turn. There it is. Every single time he goes forward, he seems to score.
And I'm wondering whether Fafilza is getting lost in the waves. It's more like a tsunami at this point. It's just...
It's been swept away.
It's incredible how Waves just instantly responds any time Fafilza thinks he's going to get into this game. And you saw pure anger from Fafilza. A slap of the leg.
He should be a little bit angry as well, because he's jumping into these tackles in and around the edge of the box so much. And it's making those drag backs, a simple drag back, so effective. It's just creating the angle for the shot. And it's not the first time we've seen it. There's a few goals that have been conceded here where I have to kind of question Fafilza's defending, but he's gone back up the other end. What is happening here in Bucharest?
Oh
2 goals. The difference between the two players once again. I don't know what to say anymore.
And
Over to you, Dan.
I don't think any member of talent who made a prediction in this game is currently feeling confident in their prediction. Even though Waves has looked incredible, even though he has the 2-goal cushion, I still feel like this could go either way.
It really could. It really, really could. We're not even at half-time yet, and we have 5 goals in our second leg. Mbappe now to Lost in the Waves. Is there going to be another immediate response? Of course there is. 10-7 on aggregate. You shoot, you score.
Sorry, I'm just counting up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we saw about 9 goals in our previous games, and that was our previous 4. And now we've just seen 17 in this current match. And for Fafilza, he can't quite believe it. He's looking at his controller, he's saying, I've moved my goalkeeper that way, but still, the back of the net has been found. He obviously hasn't moved the keeper quick enough. And oh my.
Oh my, indeed.
Forget about Lost in the Waves, it's lost in... I'm lost for words.
Yeah, I would agree with you there. Here comes Fafilza again then. His turn to score. 10-7 on aggregate. 3-3 in this game. I would agree with you there. And for the first time here, we've really seen the game kind of slow down just for a few seconds. You're fully expecting it to just burst back into life again, and here it comes. Lost in the Waves then. The German comes forward again. Walker back to Neymar. Maybe just thinking about half-time here, just settling things down. That's really not his style, is it? Let's be honest. Messi now to Ronaldo. And Mbappe just loses out at the last second to Ferdinand.
And now I'm sure other players will be watching, and they'll either be thinking, well, this is an offensive masterclass from some of these players, or both of these players are very vulnerable at the back. Players already sitting in those semi-finals might be thinking, all right, if I go up against these guys, I might be able to take them down. I might be able to have a good pop at them. If I can have a solid defense at the back, I might be able to take them. But we've got 2 goal-scoring phenomenons going up against each other. And I can't call it, Mark.
For all the action that's just happened in that first half of the second leg, we're where we were at the start, to be honest. 3 goals, the difference between the 2 players. That's the important stat to remember. Filza has shown he can score. He can create enough chances to get back into this one. He can score those goals that he needs. However, it's the other end that's the worry. Because Lost in the Waves, every single time he's going forward, he looks like he's going to score. And even if he's not scoring, he's creating goal-scoring opportunities at least.
But this was always going to be the case coming into this game. Because Filza had to go forward, because he had to throw men at Waves, there was always going to be vulnerability at the back. And Waves has pounced on it every single time Filza has got a goal. Filza needs to break this pattern. He needs to get 2 in a row so he can get within 1 goal of this tie.
Let's put the pressure back onto the German. And there is a loose ball from the German. Messi's inside here. Can R9 get there? Can't quite beat Sergio Ramos in the foot race. Neymar picks it up then for Filza. Pressure coming in from Mbappe. Works it round the corner to CR7. CR7 picks it back off of Hullet. Lovely drop of the shoulder. Ronaldo now with a chance to strike. Goes near post. De Gea with an important save there.
And again, fantastic reading of the game from Waves. The body language was all teed up to hit that finesse top right-hand corner, but he has predicted that it was going to go near post. He hasn't moved incorrectly. And Waves still continues with this 3-goal cushion.
Ronaldo with a turn here. Neymar's managed to get in behind. And look, there is the ball in behind. R9 now for Filza. Ball roll and a scoop turn. Tries to dink it into the box to find an on-rushing player. De Gea has to beat the player there, and he does.
And you look at how many of these chances are created by just a simple ball roll, by a cricketer. Even these simple skill moves like a ball roll that can be performed by so many players in the game, not even just in these incredible icons and Team of the Year FUT items. It's just a simple ball roll that has managed to gather enough space to score goals several times in this game.
Ooh, Lost in the Waves. Tried the dummy there. Not sure if it was deliberate or not, but it just ran through the legs of Lionel Messi. CR7 gets up now, wins it. Neymar, look at this run inside here. Oh, Messi just couldn't find the feet of R9, who was waiting just around the edge of the 18-yard box. Here comes Waves then. Unfortunately, runs it out of play. Raise the eyebrow there from him as well. And I mean, can we get more attack in here for Filza?
Do you know what the funny
thing is?
He
looks like he's going to be trying.
When we put out the vote, Spencer and Ivan on the desk or on the couch were saying, yeah, I think we should watch the Stefano Pina game because he is class. Vote for Stefano Pina. Whilst they are right, Stefano Pina is class. He is incredible. What an amazing match we've been able to watch here. I think we've been quite disappointed if we had tuned in late and been like, oh, it's 10-7.
Yeah,
where's that come from?
Wow.
But yeah, Filza's now looked at the clock. He's seen 62 minutes. He's seen he's only got half an hour remaining in game. And he is really now just throwing everything.
Well, the crazy thing is, Dan, this has been the calmest part of the game across 2 legs. And it's when it really matters. It's when it's crunch time. It's when normally you'll see the game get frenetic, when it gets frantic towards the end of the game. And I kind of feel that might play into the hands of Lost in the Waves here. There are going to be chances. He's shown how deadly he is. And he is so deadly. Turns onto that left foot. Team of the Year, Cristiano Ronaldo. Finds the top corner once again, and you just feel the 4-goal difference is too much, even for a player of Filza's caliber here, to pull back.
Surely that's enough now for Waves. He must be thinking, what do I have to do to actually win this game? How many goals do I need to score? For Filza, though, will still continue to march on to attempt to get goals back. But boy, is he struggling to defend against Waves. And what a statement this is to the rest of the PS4 field from Waves. Scoring 11 goals in a quarter-final. The only other player who has scored 11 goals in a quarter-final is F2 Tex, winning 11-1.
Fantastic company to be in. Just to let you guys know as well, Stefano Pina, I believe, won 2-0 in his game as well. So we'll get confirmation if that's the final result in that. Believe it might well be. But this game has been fantastic. We have to take... Well, I'll take my hat off anyway to these 2 players. It's been entertaining. It's been a fantastic advert for what FIFA esports can provide. But for Filza, he's going to want to write another end to this story. He gets one back. And I might sound crazy, but you never know. You never know, especially with a game as ridiculous as this one has been.
You often do sound crazy, Mark, but I let it slide, and I will listen to you. But you know what? You might be right in this case. Maybe there is a chance. We've seen 3 goals go in within 10 minutes beforehand. Remember famously, I think it was London, FUT Champs Cup 2, when Mo Aubameyang scored 4 goals in the last 10 minutes.
Yep.
Well, there's 20 minutes on this clock. That's room
That's
for 8
plenty of
goals.
time. 8 goals.
As far as I'm aware. 11-8. Is this
I'll tell you
football?
what, if anyone sat at home
Or is this a rugby game?
who predicted that, well done. Well done you, because no one saw this coming. I don't care if you say you did predict it. No one saw this coming. 4-4 in this game. 11-8 on aggregate. 3 goals between the 2 players. And the crazy thing is, we're both sat here thinking, this might still not be over.
And I mean, usually you say, oh, it's close to be a cricket score, and you exaggerate. But if you saw how many England got against West Indies the other day, actually, this isn't that far off
It really isn't.
a cricket score.
Marcelo then forward for Waves. He's managed to score pretty much every time from the restart in this game as well. Fulfills gets the ball back, though. And here comes the flood of Wolves players. And is he offside? He is offside. Oh, he's pulled another one back.
Game on.
Hold on to your hats. We're in for a grandstand finish here.
20 goals. And Waves is just completely open. Where is his defence? And now that's when that seed of doubt is going to be in Waves' head, thinking, surely I can't throw away a 4-goal lead. It was against Marco in the previous round where Waves came back from, what was it, 4 goals down? Is he going to have the same thing done against him?
15 minutes left for history to be made, and it would be history. Can Fulfilza get the ball back a couple of times, create a couple more chances? You can see Waves now, his game plan's completely changed. He just wants to keep the ball. He doesn't want to give it away. Pele wins the battle there with Carl Walker, manages to get him behind, and Waves is just going to try and get away from Vieira, but Fulfilza now wins it back. And here comes the Brazilian once more.
And he's coming forward with a vengeance as well. He looks deadly on the attack. A nice little scoop turn, unfortunately, gets cut out.
Oh, Ronaldo!
It's a chance. Kante makes such an important challenge.
Ball into the box. Vieira wins it. Second ball go to Ronaldinho. Walker now back to the Brazilian. Turns into trouble, though. And that could be precious seconds here for Lost in the Waves. And not only that, if I've learned anything, he might have the chance to counter-attack, but no, smartly slows things down here, spreads the play, and just takes even more time out of the game.
Oh, you felt if that had gone in, this game was here for the taking, but now surely
If that had gone in, I would have lost it.
Waves has enough time now just to close this game out, heads towards the corner flag, but no, he wants more, and that
got the ball
will
back.
give the opportunity to Fulfilza to go forward.
Wins the header as well. Oh, Marcelo just couldn't collect the ball, though. Messi now for Waves, comes forward once more. Ronaldo with the finesse, and there it is. That's it, we're done here. Finally, the madness is over. Lost in the Waves. Ties the second leg up at 5-5. He's up 12-9 on aggregate. I'm calling it here. Game over, we're done. GG.
The tide is high, and I am holding on to my seat because what an absolutely explosive game this has been. But now there is just not enough time left for Fulfilza. He gave it a blooming good crack in these last few minutes. But Waves has done just enough. And rather than pass it around his defence constantly, he's noticed that he could have just finished the game.
Hold up.
Oh my goodness. I mean, he's gone in, but surely there's not enough time. Surely.
Someone bring an oxygen mask in for Dan Gaskin, because he's struggling here.
12-10, 22 goals. I love my statistics, Mark. And boy, is this going to be a nice
I believe
addition
this
to
is
them.
what a statistician, if I could say it, will call an anomaly, Dan. Lost in the Waves, 3 minutes of added time. Please don't give the ball away. because Fafilza will make you pay. Goes back to the goalkeeper smartly here. I said GG, and I stand by that. Kante just playing it around at this point. The clock is running down.
And the pad has been put down, I think, by Fafilza as well.
There it is. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. It was a spectacle. It was dramatic. It had absolutely everything you could want, unless you like defending. And that man on your screen, lost in the waves, somehow, some way, finds his way into our semi-finals. But what a performance from both gentlemen. That was insane. That was just ridiculous.
Your defensive players like Joxan and Nicholas are sat at home just tutting slowly, but I'm sure they enjoyed it as well because it was blooming entertaining. But it is Waves who progresses. The tide is firmly staying in.
Yeah.
It's not leaving at this point. Incredible stuff.
Unbelievable stuff. It was, I mean, that's what it's all about as well. That trophy there, lost in the waves. I just want to watch all of his games moving forward because it was so fun to do.
Thankfully,
it was so entertaining. It was so full of goals. It was crazy. We hope you enjoyed it as well.
And we will get to watch all of his games because tomorrow we watch every single game on broadcast. Isn't that right, Jimmy?
That is right, Gaskin. We are going to see every single game tomorrow for day 3. But what did we just watch? I'm here with Spencer and Boris. My first question for you guys is this. Was that great attacking or terrible defending?
I think both.
A little bit of both?
Yeah, both. I think we're seeing two very tired players here. We're seeing, I mean, it's been a long, long day. And
there's a lot of waiting between when they did the round of 16 and now these quarterfinals.
So I think they've both been here for about 12 hours, and we could see, I mean, the defense was not really there, and also the goalkeeping from De Gea was questionable.
Spencer, you said off camera that both of those goalkeepers should retire.
If it was real football, yeah, they should be hanging up their boots or their gloves after that. It's shocking.
Yeah, so what do you make of that? I mean, Waves, obviously, congratulations to him, gets a big win. Is that enough now for him to get past Stefano Pina, who ended up actually winning his? But let's take a look at these highlights. And there's a lot of them because there was, what, 22 goals for 180 in-game minutes.
Great entertainment for the neutral. You know, never a dull moment. Goals going in every few minutes. Feels like having a little wry smile at that one after his keeper got skinned. And that was a slightly different goal, but we saw a lot of similar goals in this game and a lot of poor defending, really. Particularly, Fafilza's big problem was he was scoring, but then he was conceding within minutes of that goal, and he was never giving himself time to get momentum. He did it a little bit towards the end when he closed the gap a little bit, but then Lost in the Waves was still getting back in it, and it actually makes a rare giveaway there, which Fafilza pounces on. But it was a case of the Wolves drowning in the waves, I'm afraid.
Oh, that's terrible, but I'll accept it. That's like dad joke level. I appreciate that. So here's a little bit more in the second leg. Fafilza closes the gap, makes it 2 goals. You think, all right, maybe he's going to get back into this, Boris.
Yeah, he was close getting back. He also tried to change some tactics. He went to the 3-4-3, very attacking, and also got some chances, but Lost in the Waves. He was so good at the finishing. He was so good at finding these quick turns and then instantly making this finesse shot, and always green timing. You can see also here, Phil's he's getting frustrated because he is feeling here that his defense is not working. He feels that there's no way of stopping Lost in the Waves. And here he's going to get 1 goal back, but to be honest, it was never really close.
Yeah, Waves just had that much control. He never really seemed like he was too nervous, maybe at the end, because it was 11-9, and then Fafilza got a great chance, but ended up getting blocked. There's another good goal from Waves.
So
he couldn't.
He made it look so easy to score, and look at Fafilza there, almost questioning it, thinking like, how's he doing it? He didn't have an answer to it, which is ultimately how the game went. Every time Lost in the Waves went forward, he looked like he was going to get a goal, and most of the time he did.
Yeah.
Some of the strikes were from 35 yards.
Yes, and all the goals are pretty similar. He is taking 1 touch, quick turn, and instantly making this shot, and it's so hard to defend because he feels that he doesn't know which way is it going to turn. And he just makes this quick turn, and he has no time to react to this goalkeeper, and he gets this goal back, but this doesn't mean anything. We're going to see Lost in the Waves in that semi, and Spencer mentioned it, that we have 1 German now in every semi-final.
Yeah,
they started with 16 out of 64, and now there's 4 out of 8.
They had 25% of the field at the start of the tournament. They've now got 50% of the field that's left, which is amazing. 1 in every semi, and also it means every semi-final is going to be a European battle. There's no non-Europeans left.
Are you saying that for me? Just to kind of rub it
their
in?
dominance, yeah. Yeah, I am, Jimmy.
European dominance. All right, I respect it. Now, is this something where Waves can carry on to the next one? Because Stefano Pina beat Marv. He won 2-0, got a clean sheet over 180 in-game minutes. It's very impressive.
It's a 20-goal difference between the two games.
I know.
You're going to see a very different game between them two, where there's no way Lost in the Waves is going to score, 20, however many goals, 12 goals against Pinner. He's going to shut him down, and he's going to have to be much defensively better to stop Pinner at the other end.
Well, before we get into more about Pina, let's throw it over to Kyle Walker, who's with Fafilza and Waves. Kyle?
Thank you, Jimmy. Now, I'm just going to give an invite to Dan Gaskin. He needs to come to Kyle's cool-down corner because the sound of him on that stream, he sounds like he needs to cool down. 22 goals for Filza and Waves. Unbelievable stuff. How does it feel, Waves, to get that win?
Crazy. It feels great. Being top 4 on the PS4 is crazy with such a crazy game. 22 goals. I know I'm known for conceding a lot and scoring a lot, but 22 goals is insane. I'm just happy. It was a close game at the end, but I managed to win it.
It was a close game at the end, and when he got that final goal and he took it 12-10, did you think, oh no, there's a few minutes to go, keep this ball, keep it away from him?
It was the 88th minute, and I just thought I'll just pass it around the back. 2 minutes, keep it safe, get the win, conceded too many goals, so that's enough.
It was indeed. Now coming over here for Vilza, obviously you didn't get the win, but I think you've got the trophy for most entertaining game of the day, and it was the last one. How are you feeling after that?
Yeah, sure, of course it was a good game. I think the commentaries doesn't have voice anymore. I mean, 22 goals, it's the new record. Yeah. Nobody gonna beat this. But he's a good player in attack, and I wish luck for him the last games in the tournament.
Definitely, that's amazing from you to do that as well. Now, going forward, are we going to see 22 more goals in tomorrow's semi-final?
I'll just hope not to concede that much, but I'll just try to keep playing my attack style, score a lot of goals, but I got to work on my defense. I need to concede less goals, and I hope I can get that top 2 spot.
Hopefully you will. You need to go home, work on that defending, all right? I don't want to see 22 more goals tomorrow. Back to you guys on the couch.
Thank you to both of those players and Kyle. So were we due one of those games? Because all the other games in the quarterfinals and the round of 16 were pretty tight. We didn't see anything like that, and I think we were due for an explosion of some sort.
Yeah, I mean, I think it says a lot about their styles, which are fairly similar, very attacking players. And when those two players kind of come against each other, it can create games like that sometimes. And I think Boris is right to say there was some good attacking on display, but there was some questionable defending. Yeah. And I think Lost in the Waves knows he can't play that same way against a player like Pinner. That was a matchup of two similar styles, and he just felt his attack was a little bit better, and it was. But Pinner's defense is not going to allow that.
All right, let's take a look at the bracket, starting with PS4 first. We already know a few names. We've just been talking about them with Lost in the Waves taking on Pinna. And then we have Hasu and Tuga. So it's wide open. These are names I don't think any of us expected to be here. Maybe Pinna.
Yeah.
But outside of that, this is a nice-looking matchup.
I've said it before. Pinna, if he wins this thing, will be top of the PlayStation leaderboards. That's a big statement he can make. But the rest of the guys are already going to be making their way towards that top 10, regardless. But if they can get a bit further, they'll definitely be in there.
I know we'll get more into it in day 3 tomorrow, but who do you like out of those 4? Does anybody surprise you? I know, like, Pinna's been our guy this whole time, but based on some performances today, are you maybe swayed to pick somebody else?
I mean, we have something very good to say about all of these 4 players. We have Pinna's defense, different level. We have Waves attack, scoring so many goals. We also have Hasu, who's still unbeaten in this tournament. He went 5-0 in the Swiss format, and also, of course, we have
we have Tuga.
Tuga, sorry, yes,
the
Tuga.
Portuguese.
Tuga, who is, I mentioned before this tournament as one of the big names that can come up now, playing very beautiful, playing the 4-4-2, which is not very common. We're seeing mostly the 4-2-3-1, and he's trying to play a little bit of this maybe FIFA 17 style, using the wings a lot and trying to find this pass into the box and this tap-in. And different style. It's going to be very interesting to see if this style can carry him to the victory.
All right, now let's take a look at the Xbox bracket and see what's happening there. We got F2 Tex taking on Rogue and Rasik, and then IX Danny taking on Dylan Mike. 2 very good, high-quality games there. Can anybody unseat Tex? I mean, I think that's the big question.
Yeah, I mean, whatever happens, Tex is staying top and actually extending his lead, whatever happens as well. With
But that's not a bad thing, right, for all the other players, because he's kind of accumulating all the points?
It's not a bad thing for the guys trying to just work their way into the top 64 for the playoffs and then eventually top 16, yeah, because it's stopping a spread of points, if you like. But as for this particular tournament, all those guys have got a chance. All those guys have got a chance. Even Dolomite, who played him, came close, only losing by 1 goal. So he's going to be the favourite still for the whole thing, just because he's won it before. And let's remember, there's only 2 different names on this trophy.
Right.
There's actually technically Rockies on there from the FIFA 17, but the last 2 years it's Dasari and it's Tex. Dasari's gone, so the obvious favourite is Tex.
All right, well, that's enough from us on the couch. We're going to throw it over to the breakdown board with Rachel and Mike.
The last time this evening as well, and we saved the best till last. These guys have been here for like 12 hours now, and if their energy was dropping, it's well back up now. I don't think Waves will be sleeping tonight. I mean, he must be on top of the world right now. Hey, Mike.
I mean, he was not lacking in terms of goal production. I didn't expect to see a game like that in the knockouts. Most games are very cagey. They're tight affairs. Everybody's sweating it out, and that just was almost YOLO. No structure. Everything was happening everywhere, and if you turned away, you missed an opportunity, missed a goal.
We loved it. We loved it. We're just going to go through 4 of Waves' many goals that he scored. Mike, you don't need them because they're exactly the same. Yeah, just throw them away. We've picked 4 set pieces here, and they don't really change at all. Go on, Mike, just roll through them.
They almost all look identical, and Fafilza could not figure out a way to stop Waves from scoring corner kicks. Basically, he's going short, he's hitting the top of the box, and then he's using that top of the box location as almost like running a point man, where he's looking to do a drop-off. Can we get a first-time finesse shot? Can we do a little shift to the left, shift to the right, something in the box? Can I put something on the goal? It seems so crowded. I don't know how he finds these passes, to be honest with you. At this level, consistently. Yeah, it's beyond me. He seemed to always find the open man. Like Ivan was saying, and Spencer was saying, and even Jimmy was saying, goalkeepers were looking kind of suspect. Maybe they wouldn't have a job after conceding so many shots. I mean, everything just seemed to hit the back of the net on both ends.
And you weren't just seeing the same thing over and over again there. Yes, that was 4 of the exact same goals that he was using. It's not going to be like that tomorrow, though, is it? He's taking on Pina. Bit different.
Pina's defense, I really think is the best out of the last 4 competitors on the PlayStation, and I think that's going to show through for him. He's got to be the favorite.
Okay, well, we hope you enjoyed that one, but don't go anywhere. Come back tomorrow. It is finals day, but we have something special as well. We have something new for you. It's a skills special, and we're heading your way at 11:40 Central European time, so come back and join us for that one. Boys, back to you for the final time. Special as well. We have something new for you. It's a skills
I'll be honest, when Rachel said something special, I thought it was going to be a new jacket for Mike.
It could be.
It could be. Maybe tomorrow, that's when it's going to happen. All right, so we had predictions. Everybody here on the production team was picking who was going to win in each featured match. Who is the winner?
Should we start off at the bottom first?
No, I don't think we should, but if you must.
With only 4 out of 8 games correct, it is actually you, Jimmy.
Great, thank you.
And Nightwatch, the other Ivan, quite poor to be honest. On 5, we've got Boras, Mark, Gaskin, Mike, and Rachel, all on 5.
Okay.
On 6, we've got myself, 6 out of 8, Kyle, and Richard.
It's 75%.
But one person got 7 out of 8, only getting the last one wrong.
Wow.
Which was Brandon Smith.
Impressive. Congratulations. Well, that's Dan Gaskin. He won it yesterday.
Well, that might be counting yesterday as well.
Oh, that counts yesterday. Then Dan Gaskin is still in charge.
Yeah.
But today's winner is Brandon Smith.
Yeah, well done, boys.
All right, now, there he is. There he is. We got him. 87%.
Know what they're talking about.